What? I'm not messing around, Linda. Come on. Web streamed and televised. Please ensure that your phones are in silent mode. For those attending virtually, please mute yourself when not speaking. When called upon to speak, please turn on your camera and unmute yourself. For staff in attendance, please use the Microsoft Teams raise hand feature to be called upon and remove it after speaking. With that, I call the December 9th, 2025 Council and Committee meeting to order. All members of committee are present with the exception of Councillor Duthie, who's present online, and Councillor Michelli will be joining, I guess, virtually at some point soon, soonish. So, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Great. Seeing none, we'll move on to number 2. Can I have the approval of the agenda changes to the agenda? Committee has the agenda before them. We have 4 changes to the agenda: to add a deputation from Tim Roger regarding surplus land, to add a notice of motion from Councillor Very, hey, that's me, to move item 4.8 marina dredging update Port Rowan and Port Dover CDS 2511 from consent to staff reports. And I'm also going to pull communication item 5.1 letter from Mayor Martin and Councillor Very to the Ministry of MNRF. Funding for Port Dover fisheries, and Councillor Van Passen is requested to pull consent item 4.5 CDS 25108 update to valuations of road allowances, streets, lane, and alleys for further discussion. Any other additions or changes to the agenda? All right, seeing none, I need a 2/3 vote to allow the changes. So can I have someone move that, please? Councillor Brunton, seconded by Councillor Huffman. All those in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have 2 early close. Oh, sorry, we do need a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Can I have so Councillor Van Jadrishi, seconded by Mayor Martin. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. So we have early closed session. We have 2 early closed session items today. Can I have a mover for the following motion? That committee enter closed session at 1:03 p.m. to discuss an item pursuant to section 239, 2A and F of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended as the subject matter pertains: A, the security of the property of the municipality or local board, and F is advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Can I have a motion? Councillor Columbus, seconded by Councillor Brunton. All those in favor? Thank you. We'll be back.
Hey Norfolk County, did you know that Ride Norfolk is now on demand? This means you can schedule Norfolk's public transit service to pick you up for appointments, shopping, school, or work. Ride Norfolk has partnered with Blaze Transit to offer on-demand pickups at all 95 stops across Norfolk, including this one. I booked my trip earlier today and my bus is here right on time. Since there are no fixed local schedules, you can easily book Ride Norfolk over the phone, online, or on the Blaze Transit app from your smartphone. Thanks, Charlie.
You're welcome.
Ride Norfolk's customer service team can help answer any questions you may have, get you started with the app, or book your next ride. By moving to On Demand, Ride Norfolk is helping more residents get where they need to go. To learn more, visit norfolkcounty.ca/transit.
Hi, I'm Marissa, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes for a quick look at what we do at Norfolk County's waste and recycling operations. Here at the transfer station in Simcoe, residents can bring a variety of waste materials for disposal. Norfolk operates 2 transfer stations, welcoming about 27,000 customers every year, and accepts material ranging from bulky items, wood, metal, and yard waste. Norfolk also provides curbside waste programs. Recycling from your home arrives at this facility where it is manually sorted by the type of material. You can see why it's important to separate materials into the correct bin, rinse recyclables, and remove items from bags. This facility processes 4,600 metric tons per year. That's equal to about 20 tons per day. Once items are sorted by material type, they are baled and ready to be shipped across North America to be made into new material. About 8 to 10% of the material that arrives here shouldn't have been put in the recycling bin. Residents can use our Recycle Coach app to confirm if an item can be recycled. After seeing how waste is handled, I hope this video helps show why rinsing and sorting your recyclables are important steps in the recycling process. As a Norfolk County employee, I am proud to serve the community I was raised in. Thanks for joining me on this behind-the-scenes tour.
This summer, discover the hidden gem of Norfolk County, Ontario's garden. Stroll through historic villages where time seems to slow down. Feel the sand between your toes on our pristine Lake Erie beaches. From live theater that captivates to trails that wind through breathtaking landscapes, adventure and relaxation await at every turn. Meet the farmers who grow your dinner and taste wine and beer crafted right here. Experience Norfolk County this summer, where small-town charm meets farm-fresh flavor. Ontario's garden. It's time you came home to it.
Hey Norfolk County, I'm Chris, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes to show you how Norfolk County manages stormwater in our towns and communities. Stormwater isn't just rain or melted snow. It's any excess water that runs off hard surfaces like roads, driveways, and rooftops. But where does that water go? And why is managing it important? Norfolk's stormwater systems include pipes, ditches, catch basins, and ponds that work together to manage this runoff. Stormwater systems like ponds slow the flow and allow dirt and pollutants to settle and release cleaner water into the environment. Without proper management, stormwater can flood basements, damage roads, and carry contaminants like oil, garbage, and salt into our rivers and lakes. That's why Norfolk County created a dedicated stormwater team in 2024 to better understand and maintain what we already have while planning for the future. This stormwater pond in Port Dover helps to reduce flooding and improve water quality. Over time, sediment and pollutants build up within storm ponds, limiting their ability to hold water. This creates an ideal environment for algae and invasive plants like Phragmites to flourish. This fast-growing species can block out the flow of water and crowd out native vegetation, reducing the habitat that local wildlife depends on. To restore this pond, we're removing the excess sediment and transporting it to a licensed site. We're also clearing invasive plants, reshaping the pond's banks, and upgrading the outlet that controls the flow of water. This work will improve water quality, allow the pond to hold more water, reduce flooding risks, and provide a healthier habitat for plants and wildlife. Stormwater management isn't just about what you see on the surface. It's also about the infrastructure underground. We use special tools to locate, map, and inspect the pipes and infrastructure that connect the ponds to the wider stormwater system. This helps us to understand how water moves through our communities and identify issues that need our attention. It's likely that you or someone that you know has been impacted by flooding, erosion, or drainage issues. All of that connects back to stormwater. Stormwater management isn't just about pipes and ponds. It's about protecting the communities and the nature that surrounds us. As Norfolk County grows, so does our responsibility to manage stormwater, and that's our job. With smart planning, hard work, and community support, we're building a cleaner, safer, and more resilient future together.
Welcome to Norfolk County, where land meets lake and opportunity grows deep and wide. Located on the north shore of Lake Erie, in the heart of southwestern Ontario, Norfolk spans 1,600 square kilometers, making us one of Ontario's largest single-tier municipalities. Our roots run deep in agriculture, food production, and advanced manufacturing, industries that shaped our past and are powering Ontario's future economy. Home to over 70,000, we are bold, diverse, and fiercely local. From Port Dover to Long Point, our folks are putting down roots, sometimes in sand, sometimes in soil, but always in a place they're proud to call home. Big land, big vision, unmatched potential. That's Norfolk.
Hey, Norfolk County.
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 My name is Bowden Winicki.
My name is Lindsay Kaliokoski.
My name is Alex Ryan. I work as a park student.
I work as an economic development coordinator.
I work on the roads department in Delhi.
I work as a supervisor for waste management. I work as a committee coordinator in the clerk's department.
Okay, what's the first question? What I love about my job is the people.
All right, what do I love about my job?
It's really the community. No day is the same.
It is because I get to work with a bunch of great guys.
It directly impacts really positively the residents of Norfolk County.
I love the people that I get a chance to work with.
Every day is different. The mix of things is what makes me happy and keeps me going.
First and foremost, the community. The people of this community are so welcoming.
Is the amazing team I get to work with every day here at Norfolk County.
Opportunity to help people, to help my community.
One of the things I love the most about my job is my team. I love who I work with and what I do while I'm here.
I get to work on projects and in programs that support our community, that help make lives better for the people who live here, who work here, and who come here to visit.
Every day you feel like you've accomplished something on the way home, and you're working with a bunch of great people who are equally as committed to the community and serving our communities.
The pace here is very good and great work-life balance.
They put wellness on the forefront, so I'm part of the Apple Committee, and there's lots of opportunity at Norfolk County.
Flexible work hours, great work-life balance, great staff, great friends, and of course, what's not to love about Norfolk County? We're Ontario's garden.
I love helping people, I love helping residents, and that's what makes Norfolk County a great place to come to work.
I chose to work for Norfolk County because I grew up in Delhi, so it's close to home, and I've enjoyed working for my community and my friends and family.
Definitely 100% the people. There are lots of community champions, and everyone's been so kind and welcoming.
Because I was born and raised here, and I wanted to help give back to my community.
I love giving back to a community that I grew up in. I love my team, and I love that I can leave a legacy here in the communities.
When I had the opportunity to come home and serve the public, I jumped at that opportunity.
I started my career as an area planner for this place. It's interesting that at the end of my career, this opportunity came up to come back and make Norfolk a better place. Just being able to live and work in the community that we're a part of.
I did choose to work for Norfolk because I'm an engineer by trade, and I like to solve problems.
And realized how rewarding it was to be able to contribute to initiatives within the area that I've always called home. I love it here. You should consider joining the public sector, joining the municipality, because it's so diverse. There's something for everyone. Local government is the closest to the people. We get to work with our residents day in and day out, and there is something for you in every department for Norfolk.
Hey, Norfolk County. Do you know how your property taxes are spent? Let's take a look together. First, we need to start with Norfolk County's budget. Every year, staff and council confirm the funds required to be collected from the property taxes paid by you and 35,000 other Norfolk County taxpayers. These funds contribute to Norfolk County's levy and capital budgets, which lay out how your tax dollars are used. The capital budget is also funded by the rate budget, the funds paid by residents known as ratepayers for water and wastewater services through their monthly water bill. The levy budget is used to deliver programs and services for residents ranging from emergency services like fire and EMS, waste services like garbage collection, recreation services like arenas, trails, and parks, maintenance services like snow removal and road repair, and human services like homelessness prevention and health education programs. Our levy budget also supports our libraries and museums, administrative services for council, and the many staff who keep Norfolk County operating. Services like recreation programs for children, adults, and seniors, and our Ride Norfolk transit program are also paid for with property taxes and supplemented by user fees. And across Ontario, a portion of each resident's property tax bill goes to our local school boards. About a third of the property taxes collected are allocated to the capital budget or reserves for future capital spending, which includes other funding sources like the federal and provincial government, reserve funds, grants, debt, and development charges, as well as funds from the rate budget. Together, the capital budget goes toward longer-term projects, such as our investments in water and wastewater facilities, as well as building and renewing our parks, roadways, pools, arenas, and other things we use every day. So the next time you hear someone ask, "Where are my property taxes going?" you can tell them to look down, look up, and look forward. Your tax dollars are at work all around you every day. When you visit your local park with your family, drive to work on cleared roads, register for swimming lessons, get rid of that old couch you've outgrown, or contact Service Norfolk about that pothole on your street that needs to be fixed. Your tax dollars are also being invested in initiatives to improve the lives of Norfolk County residents in the years to come to make Norfolk County a better place for future generations. While Norfolk County's budget is prepared once a year, your feedback helps us make decisions and plan for the future. We are committed to listening to you so that our budget reflects what is important to our community. Learn more about Norfolk County's budget at norfolkcounty.ca/budget.
Today we're announcing an exciting partnership with Scotland and Norfolk County Economic Development, and we're transforming transport trailers into mobile ambassadors. We're showcasing Norfolk's story of opportunity, excellence, and quality of life across all of North America, and Scotland is the ideal partner with an amazing logistics network and will help us share our story all across North America.
Hi, I'm Jacob, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes on a capital project in Norfolk County. We begin planning capital projects by analyzing our infrastructure needs related to roads, water mains, storm and sanitary sewers, as well as bridges. We assess their overall condition, age, and servicing requirements. This provides a solid foundation to ensure Norfolk has the hard infrastructure for current and future needs. Once a project is determined and approved by Council, we retain an engineer to complete the design. During this stage, we engage the public through public information centers or postings on the county website to inform them of the upcoming project and provide an opportunity to share feedback. After the design is completed and all approvals are in place, we hire a contractor through a public bidding process. During the construction phase, we track progress, budget, and continue to engage with the public. We also work with other departments to ensure the overall success of the project. Once complete, we report and track any warranty issues for 2 years. We measure a project's success by its ability to enhance infrastructure and positively impact residents. As a Norfolk County employee, I enjoy building the community that has given me so much. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this behind-the-scenes tour.
Deputations are a way for you and all residents of Norfolk County to speak before council about relevant matters in our community. To begin, search www.norfolkcounty.ca. Then select the Government tab. Under the Government tab, select Provide Deputation/Speak at a Council or Committee Meeting. This page provides general information regarding deputations. Under the subheading Register to Speak, click the Public Hearing/Deputation Form link to pre-register your deputation. Notice of Collection. By checking the Notice of Collection box, you are agreeing to the above statement. Selecting the type of meeting you want. There are several types of meetings that allow deputations. Please listen closely as we explain each option. Council meeting. Council deputations must pertain to a matter listed on the upcoming meeting agenda. For the remaining meeting choices, you may present a deputation if the topic pertains to the committee you are presenting to. Once you select the type of meeting you want to deliver your deputation, you can complete the rest of the document. Now choose whether you will attend the meeting in person or virtually. Finally, select if you will be providing materials during your deputation. If you have materials for distribution during the council meeting, please bring 15 hard copies for council and staff. Now click Next to move to Step 2. In Step 2, please fill out your personal information. Once your personal information is completed, click Next. Lastly, review your information and select Next to submit your form. You have now completed the deputation request form. You will receive a confirmation email from the Clerk's Department that they've received your request. Next, we will talk about what to do on the day of your deputation.
So, you've received your approval and the day of your deputation is upon you. For starters, council is located here, at 50 Colburn Street. Now there's 2 entrances you can use when you arrive. One is here, located off Colburn, and one located off Talbot Street. When you arrive, you'll have 3 main options to park. The first is to park at the Simcoe Town Center Mall, which is where Food Basics is located. Your second option is 2-hour street parking on Court Street. And your third option is 2-hour street parking on Lott Street. If you can't find any parking at any of those 3 options, don't worry. Downtown Simcoe has plenty of street parking in all of the surrounding areas. If you enter through the Colburn Street doors, you'll have to make your way through the building to get to council chambers. But don't worry, if you require any assistance, you can feel free to ask Service Norfolk at the front desk. Make your way along this path and you'll end up in the main lobby. To your left, there'll be an elevator. You can either ring the bell or go ask the people at the front desk for assistance. If you don't need to use the elevator, you can head on up the green staircase and go up to council chambers. If you enter through the Talbot Street doors, the elevator will be immediately in front of you, or the green staircase will be ready for you to go up and deliver your presentation. Once you reach the top of the stairs, you'll have made it to council chambers. Feel free to take a seat here or here and wait for council to call your name when it's time to present. When council calls your name, make your way to the podium and ensure that you don't walk between the railing and the chairs on your way there. When you arrive at the podium, adjust it to your desired height using the arrow buttons and turn the microphone on using the button on the right. If you're giving your deputation in front of council, begin by saying, "Through the mayor." If you're giving it in front of a committee, begin by saying, "Through the chair." Then, clearly state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes to give your presentation. Upon having 1 minute remaining, the chair will give you notice. When you're finished your presentation, council may have questions for you. Ensure that you always begin your answer by saying, "Through the mayor," or "Through the chair" to counselor and their last name. If you can't answer the question, that's okay. Inform council that you'll gather more information and get back to them. After that, council will have heard out what you've had to say, and they'll take appropriate action as they deem necessary. And now you've finished your deputation. You can either have a seat and watch the rest of the meeting, or you can leave through the door that you came in and ensure that you leave as quietly as possible.
Hey Norfolk County, my name is Anna and I'm here to share some water safety tips to keep you and your family safe around the water. Knowing how to swim is a life skill and an essential part of staying safe and having fun. Swimming lessons are the best way to learn essential swim survival skills to recover from a fall into deep water. Think you're too old for lessons? There are programs designed for teens and adults as well. With so many lakes and rivers, Canadians of all ages are avid boaters. Always wear a life jacket, it could save your life. Never swim alone, regardless of age and skill level. Always swim with a buddy. A buddy can throw you a buoyant aid if you get into trouble. When possible, wade into unknown waters to prevent injury. Backyard pools are a great place to make family memories. But remember, if you are not within arm's reach of your child in and around the water, then you've gone too far. Drowning can occur in as little as 10 seconds and it is silent. Every drowning death is preventable. Take time to educate yourself and those around you to ensure you're staying safe and having fun around the water. For more information, visit norfolkcounty.ca/watersafety.
We all have the right to feel safe at work, when spending time with friends and family, when participating in activities or attending a public meeting or event. Norfolk County is committed to ensuring our spaces and workplaces are safe. Our Respect and Responsibility policy outlines the code of conduct for employees, patrons, contractors, volunteers, coaches, and spectators. This code of conduct also applies to phone calls, emails, and virtual and social media platforms. We all play a part in fostering a respectful and safe environment. Inappropriate behaviors such as swearing, name-calling, verbal and physical threats, physical violence, harassment, and vandalism will not be tolerated. Staff have the right to take action when incidents occur. This may include denying service, asking individuals to leave, contacting the police, or, if necessary, suspending them from county programs and facilities. Those responsible for damaging county property will be required to cover the cost of repairs, fees, and lost revenues. We are committed to providing high-quality customer service and a safe and respectful environment for all. For more information about our Respect and Responsibility policy, visit norfolkcounty.ca/RNR.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm excited to take you behind the scenes to meet Norfolk County's aquatics team in action.
I think the people are what make the job. I think working with the people that I do, we're a great team. We work really well together. That makes a positive work environment. That makes a positive work for the public as well. They see that we work well together, and I think that benefits them as well.
I still love coming here every day. It's an exciting job. It's always different. You're always doing new things.
Being part of our team offers staff the opportunity to develop essential skills in lifeguarding, teaching swimming lessons, customer service, first aid, and of course, teamwork.
I think swimming in general is a really great skill to have from a very young age, so being a part of children learning how to swim is super important to me.
It's a really rewarding process to see them go from not the greatest swimmer to a better or great swimmer. It's a really good stepping stone to what I want to do in the future.
It's just a nice variety and everybody brings something different and special to the team.
Our aquatics team is dedicated to educating the community on water safety and drowning prevention.
You might be a quiet student coming in, and this job is really going to push you to find your voice and be like an impactful member of a team.
I love that it's different every day, and you get to meet new people every day and see some of the same faces every day as well. But my job is different every single day. I don't do the same, so it's amazing.
As a proud Norfolk County employee, I'm honored to be part of a team delivering life-saving skills to our community. Thank you for joining me on this behind the scenes tour. I hope this video gives you a glimpse of what it's like to be part of our aquatics team. If you're interested in taking advanced leadership courses to become a lifeguard and instructor, visit norfolkcounty.ca.
Hey Norfolk County! Whether you're a longtime resident, new to the area, or simply visiting, do you know about the many services provided by Norfolk County? As a single-tier municipality, we provide services that our community uses every day, including water and fire protection, curbside garbage and recycling, road and sidewalk maintenance, and so much more. We also provide services needed at unique times in life, such as a marriage or business license, or a dog tag for your new companion. And the unique geographic features in Norfolk County, from farmland and forests to lakes and wetlands, means we also provide specialized services ranging from drainage applications to tree inspections. Wondering how to contact Norfolk County? Start with Service Norfolk. Our friendly team of agents is here to help. Reach us by phone at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday. Calling about an issue after hours? No problem. We have you covered. Prefer online? Email askus@norfolkcounty.ca anytime, or use our customer service portal at service.norfolkcounty.ca and get a reply.
So may I have a motion to reconvene in open session at 1:32? Mayor Martin, seconded by Councillor Vanadrishi. All those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, so the following matter was addressed in closed session. I'm going to ask the clerk to read the motion from closed session for each item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So council met on two issues, and the motion would be that they provided direction to staff.
Okay, thank you. So do I have a mover for the staff recommendation then? Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Hoffman, yeah? All those in favor? Okay, very good. Clip it along. All right, we have 8 consent items today. Sorry, 1 second. Yep, 8 consent items today. For the item 4.6, committee name change, CS 25168, the report states that the new name is Social Services and Housing Advisory Committee. However, it should be Haldeman and Norfolk Housing and Social Services Advisory Committee. So the rest are fine as they are. So may I have a motion to receive consent items 4.1 through 4.8 as information? Mayor Martin, seconded by Councillor Brunton. Any debate? No? Oh.
Yeah, the 4.5.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. Yes. So okay, so let me do that again. Can I have a motion then to approve 4.1 to 4.4 and then 4.6 to 4.8? Okay. Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Brunton. All those in favor? Okay, it's carried. Councillor Van Passen, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Item 4.5 is the report CDS 25108, the update on valuations of road allowances, street lanes, and alleys. They have an updated version of a price tag, but I have some concerns that a lot of, like we have a lot of unopened road allowances in Norfolk County that we should get rid of, but it's not a matter of one size fits all. Like there are road allowances that are being actively farmed right now. There's road allowances that are just 2 lines in a map that a surveyor drew in 1797, and it's woodlots, it's swampland, And there has to be a difference in the value of those two things. And, you know, another one of my concerns is that when we get rid of a road allowance or right-of-way and things like that, it doesn't become a parcel on its own. It always has to be attached to, as a boundary adjustment to the property next door. So there's a difference in the values of that. We also make the purchaser of that property has to pay all the bills. Like if you sold a piece of property in the real world, you'd probably be responsible for the survey and the lawyer's fees and all that. So, you know, we got to account for that. So, you know, staff make a recommendation, like our current policy says rural areas is 13,000 an acre, just one price. I'm thinking that it should be a range on, depending on the type of property that, you know, if you were selling a piece of an unopened road allowance that is being actively farmed has to be worth more than an unopened road allowance is down in a swamp somewhere that you can never do anything with. So I wonder if we could just send this, refer the whole report back to staff and see if there's some options that they can get some proper wording of a range of prices, or I'd really like to see us give staff a little bit more room to negotiate prices on there rather than just one set value that we put on there, and you know, come up with the best deal for the county without jeopardizing and the deal where a potential buyer would walk away. So just going to ask that we just refer this report back to staff, and whether they could bring it back in a week at the council meeting or whether it came in the new year, depending on how much work would be involved, because I have talked to Mr. Cridland about it and the other staff, so I will leave that with council, or those thoughts with council.
So is that a motion that you're making, or are you just making a direction to staff?
Well, I would make the motion that we just refer the report back to staff, and wonder if maybe Bill could make a comment on how quick, whether it would be coming back to council meeting or whether it's going to be in the new year. So.
Thank you, Councillor. Through the chair to County Council, I may turn the mic over to Kelly Debashar. We had a chat, and I think Kelly's got some speaking notes that may help council maybe give staff a little guidance on what they would like to see, and staff are prepared to be flexible, and then I think from that debate we will know whether we will be able to bring this back a week from today or whether it'll have to be back in the new year. Kelly, if I ask you to speak.
Thank you, Bill. Through the chair, yes, so the report was based on the value sort of being an average price setting due to the fact that road allowances could be made up of multiple zonings as well as different land use variations within road allowances. So that is something that we are able to do. We can take the report back and look at the pricing, or we could set a different value for specifically cultivatable or workable land versus the other land use types that would be within a road allowance. And if that's something that you want to be referred back, or if you want the recommendation changed, we're happy to work with you and get that back to you.
It sounds like they've done their homework, so I don't see any reason that they couldn't bring the report back with some different options next week. Does that fit, Bill, or is it Kelly?
Through the chair of the councillor, I believe in conversations with Kelly, we can make that work.
Okay. Then I'll put the motion forward to refer it back to staff to be presented at the council meeting next week.
Okay, thank you. Is that a second? Okay, I would like to maybe get it on the table, and then we can talk about, so seconded by Mayor Martin. Okay. Councilor Van Dusen, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. Looking at some of these locations, and when we were talking about road allowances, and as you indicated that we're farm, who looks at these for road safety? Because there's I know of a corner, you know, road corner, T, and it's farmed, it's not owned by the farmer, and it's farmed to basically the road, but it cuts off your vision. So I'm wondering, does someone go out and look at these spots and say, wait a minute, the reason we're keeping this and the reason it was kept was for road safety? Do we look into that? I don't want it rushed and then all of a sudden come back that we got a roadway that there's no visual, you can't see the corner, you can't come out, you know what I mean, that type of thing.
I'll take a stab at answering that. The question for the day is the value of the property, not how we go about choosing which ones and all of that. So that's a great discussion for another day, but I don't think it affects the value of those lands, right?
Okay, just one sec. Okay. Councillor Van Basten's finished? Please, Councillor Hendrici, go ahead.
The reason that it affects the value to me is whether, if you're going to look at it proportionately, like to reduce the size of it, so the price would be different. If you do this, the price would be different. So to me, I think it goes hand in hand to look at it for the parcels. So that's why I think it has merit in discussing it as part of this, the price tag.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Then with that, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And it carries. Oh, sorry, opposed? Okay, well, we're going to come back next meeting. We'll have a fulsome debate. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Van Basten. Okay, moving on. Oh, 3 communications items today. I'm going to pass the chair over to Councillor Huffman.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Veary has requested to pull item 5.1 for discussion. And 5.1 is the letter from Mayor Martin and Councillor Veary re the MNRF funding for Port Dover fisheries.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull this and make sure it didn't just sort of get into the, disappear into the ether, so to speak, that we got a substantial investment in Port Dover's fishery, and just wanted to again verbally thank the MNRF and the Honourable Mike Harris, MPP, for including Dover in that announcement. So this is a few weeks old now, and just the way things work, it didn't get in front of council till now, but I think it's still important to formally recognize that we are in the province's mind, and that's great. And there's $10 million to a facility in Wheatley and in Port Dover. We'll get a portion of that in Port Dover, and it'll be a good investment in the fishing industry that built our community. So thank you very much to the MNRF.
Thank you, Councillor Veary. It definitely was a good news story. May I have a motion to receive communication item 5.1 as information? Moved by Councillor Columbus, seconder. Mayor Martin, all in favor? And that motion is carried. I will now pass the chair back to Councillor Veary.
Well, thank you so much. So we have 5.2, which is a letter from Grand River Public Health, and 5.3, a letter from Grand River Conservations Authority. Can I have a motion to receive communication item 5.2 and 5.3 as information? Mayor Martin, seconded by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay, then it's carried, right? You didn't want to, there wasn't a question, I'm sorry, that was a vote. Okay, good. Okay, moving on. Deputations, we have one today. We have Tim Roger, surplus lands in Port Dover. So, Tim, welcome. You have 5 minutes for your deputation. I will let you know when you have 1 minute remaining. Oh, you gotta, yep. Oh, we have Marion Gadsby too. Welcome, Marion.
Perfect. Mayor and Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak this afternoon. My name is Tim Roger. This is Marion Gadsby. We're with the Port Dover Lions Club, and we're here today to formally express the Lions Club's interest in the former Port Dover Works Yard at 212 Nelson Street East in Port Dover, which is situated on Silver Lake, to ask Council and staff to consider the Lions as a community partner in the future disposition of this property. As you know, Council voted to place a short hold on listing some surplus county lands to allow community organizations an opportunity to propose the benefit the public, to allow community organizations an opportunity to propose uses that benefit the public before these lands are sold on the open market. We appreciate that approach. Our club has now discussed this property and has approved a motion to pursue this opportunity in principle. We are asking that Council and staff consider the Port Dover Lions Club as an appropriate community partner for this waterfront land, and that this interest be incorporated into your upcoming internal review and conversations about this property. The reasons that the Lions Club is interested in this are very simple. Firstly, this is an important waterfront parcel. If this moves to the open market, there is a real risk that it ends up in the hands of a private developer and is used in a way that reduces public access to the Silver Lake waterfront. Secondly, the Lions Club is a long-standing steward of community property. We already own nearby Lions lands on Silver Lake, and we have a long track record of building and maintaining assets that serve the public. And the third thing we like about this is the property can remain productive in the interim. The existing rental agreement that the county has with the tenants of that land suggests that the site can generate income. That gives the Lions the ability to carry basic costs such as taxes and insurance while we work through long-term planning. Two practical questions naturally came up in our discussions. One was environmental risk, and the other is the condemned building that is on the lands right now. And we agreed amongst ourselves that those matter. We're simply asking that the county first consider the Lions as a community partner in principle, and then, if you wish to explore that path, support the evaluation with a Phase 1 environmental site assessment and a review of options for the condemned building. So to summarize, the Port Dover Lions Club has approved a motion to pursue this opportunity in principle. We respectfully ask that council and staff include the Port Dover Lions Club as a community partner option in your upcoming discussions about the waterfront property. Should council wish to explore this plan further, we encourage consideration of a Phase 1 environmental study and an evaluation of the building as sensible enabling steps. And please remember, this is a chance to protect community access to a valuable waterfront site, to keep it in public serving hands, and to give the community time and flexibility to shape the best long-term use of the lands. Thank you for your time. We're available to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Tim. Is there any questions for the deputation?
Thank you.
Okay. Then I have a motion. If there's no questions, I guess could I have a motion to receive it as information? Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Huffman. All those in favor? Okay. Thank you very much. Presentations. We have 3 presentations today. Where are we at here? 7.1. Safir Rahman, Long Point Region Conservation Authority, regarding Conservation Ontario Class Environmental Assessment for the Teeterville Dam. Safir. Oh, sorry, Councillor Brunton.
I believe it's Scott that's going to make the presentation. That's Scott.
Okay, well. Sorry? You can. Sorry, Scott, can you just grab a seat? I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Councillor.
Well, we received the deputation as information, but I'd like to put a motion forth that we direct staff to consider the comments brought forth by the Lions Club when they consider what to do with the property.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Seconded by Councillor Huffman. Any discussion on that or debate? Yep, Mayor Martin.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Through you to staff, can we also get some information on preliminary estimates on environmental assessments and whatnot? If that's something that we would undertake anyways, if we were looking at divesting ourselves of the land one way or another through the surplus land or through this strategy or an alternative, I'd like to know if that was a step we were going to take and the cost associated.
Are you amenable to that?
Yeah, I'm amenable. That would be standard practice when they bring the report, but we can put that in. Well, I guess the question is, are we directing them to go ahead and do that, or are we just directing them to carry on with the process, but part of the process is to include the comments that we just heard from the Lions Club? So.
Well, that's a good question, so I'll throw that maybe over to Bill? Or maybe to Al. Okay, let's do it to Al then, okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would say the following, that certainly the comments, and we appreciate the interest of the Lions in regards to next steps, and we certainly will take it into consideration. Staff are in the process of developing an expression of interest process so that we can gauge exactly what kind of interest is out there, and we will be following Council's approved policies as we move down that path, but we will certainly look at the environmental impact and perhaps look at an environmental assessment. We are just in the process of developing what that process is going to look like, and we'll have some more information that will be made available to everyone as we move down this path.
Is that sufficient?
Yeah, it's sufficient. I just, like when we just receive it as information, that's usually how you get rid of something, right? Like you just thank you very much for your comments, carry on business as usual. If the standard process is going to be followed and the Alliance will have the opportunity to present a written request or willingness to partner, and they will get a second kick at the can, then I'm good with that as well. So they just didn't want their little presentation forgotten about. So
it will not be forgotten about, I can assure you.
Okay, then I'll just withdraw it and we'll just carry on with the next.
No, don't withdraw. I want it on. No, let's put it on the books. We have a mover and a seconder. Is there any more debate or discussion on this before we call the vote, or I call the vote? Okay, do you want to just review what is the motion, just so we have it?
That staff be directed to consider the comments provided by the Lions Club.
And Mayor Martin's addition.
And that will obviously sound a little bit better than this, rough. That any preliminary estimates on environmental assessments be included.
Okay. So we have a mover and a seconder. I'm going to call the vote then. All those in favor? Okay, very good. Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry I missed your hand there, Councillor Van Passen. I didn't want to forget about the Lions. Now I will welcome Scott up to do the Long Point region presentation. I got to tell you this, Scott. You have 10 minutes. I will let you know when you have 1 minute remaining.
Okay. So am I going to get the presentation on one of these? There we go. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Scott Robertson. I'm with Montrose Environmental Solutions Canada. We worked with Long Point Region Conservation and our sub-consultants, TMHC, it's a cultural heritage consultant, and Scheckenberg and Associates, on completing this Teeterville Dam class environmental assessment study. If we could jump to the next slide. Just, sorry, next slide. Thank you. Orient you in space. Oh, back one. Orient you in space. Teeterville Dam is located in Teeterville, Ontario. It's about 10 kilometers northeast of. Sorry, we're going forward. Northeast of Delhi. It is about a third of the way down the Big Creek watershed. Big Creek watershed is 750 square kilometers. Drains into Lake Erie at Port Royal, just by Long Point. The biggest feature on the landscape associated with the dam is the Teeterville Reservoir, which has been in place for 200 years and is a provincially significant wetland that we'll get to. Sorry, I'm off. Can we go back one slide? The dam has been in place at or near this location for about 200 years. It was built in the early 1830s. The current dam is about 100 years old, thought to be constructed in 1915. There's a line in a text that it might have been rebuilt in 1937 following a flood. Okay, I'm kind of out of sorts now. Let's jump ahead to why we did this study in the mid-teens, 2016. And so we'll go one more from there, please. That dam safety review determined that the dam had a high probability of failure due to stability issues. It didn't meet provincial or federal standards for dam stability. It is a low hazard risk dam in that if it were to completely fail, there wouldn't be a risk to life or property downstream, but there would be an environmental risk with the sediment that's accumulated within the reservoir flushing downstream into good trout habitat. So because we were looking at different alternatives as to what to do to fix the stability issue, it got us into a class environmental assessment process that looks at a lot of the other things that the Conservation Authority is charged with in addition to owning the dam. So we can go to the next slide. The study followed the Conservation Ontario Class EA process, which is subtly different from the municipal Class EA that you might be more aware of, but a lot of the same components of it. First step is to characterize the environment in which the project exists. When I say environment, it's not just the natural environment, it's technical, regulatory, economic, social, cultural, and these all play a role, and they start the project playing basically an equal role, and depending on what the science and the public consultation finds, they can take on different weightings. So once we've established characterized the environment in which the project exists, we define a series of alternatives that could potentially resolve the problem, and then we evaluate them against each other. This is all done in an open, public, transparent process, after which we define a preferred alternative and write it up in a EA report, and it becomes part of that an approved study. So we can go next slide. Let's jump into the characterization of that environment. Here we see everything other than the natural, and we see, for example, the Legion. The local Legion sits on the west side of the reservoir, and it provides public access to the feature for recreational activities, from just sitting and observing wildlife to boating, angling, hunting, etc. And important community events such as the annual Carp Derby. So the Legion is very central to this community. On the east side of the reservoir is Norfolk County's Fire Station number 4. And key to that fire station is the dry hydrant, which is located on the dam and gets an emergency fire water supply source from the reservoir. So that's an important component moving forward in judging which alternative we should go with. Some of the physical characteristics that we see here, the fine sludgy sediment that's built up in the reservoir over the last 200 years, it's just an environmental issue worth considering. If we were to remove the dam and have it flush downstream, that would be a negative impact. On the lower right, we see a graph that just shows sort of a temperature curves for July of 22. This month happens to be, and it shows that from upstream to downstream of the reservoir, the temperature in the water can actually increase from 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, which is a negative impact on that downstream trout fishery. And then we also see examples of the ailing concrete of the structure. We see the piers that are falling apart there and require reconstruction. And in the middle, we see a remnant wall from the old mill foundation. So a bit of a cultural artifact that remains on the landscape. So if we can go next slide. Just a few examples of the natural heritage aspects offered by the reservoir. And it includes habitat for a wide variety of resident and migratory species. The study area itself boasts 9 species at risk and 9 species of conservation concern, mainly in the categories of bats and birds, which are perhaps not necessarily reliant on the reservoir, but there is also reservoir reliant and wet condition reliant species such as Blanding's turtle, northern map turtle, snapping turtles, and the 2 trees on the lower right are actually a black ash and a butternut tree, both of which prefer those wet conditions. So if we can go next slide. Now we start talking about the alternatives. We looked at the do-nothing alternative, which it is in the municipal Class EA process as well. It's a mandatory alternative that's required to be looked at. In this case, it doesn't really fit because it doesn't address the problem statement, but it does serve as a baseline for comparison of the other 4 alternatives, which we'll lump into the do-something alternatives. Further breaking those down, we have alternatives 2 and 3, which are repair dam or replace the dam entirely. And so those are our dam in alternatives. And then 4 and 5 are our dam out alternatives, which we mean we'd pull the dam and we let the area naturalize with or without some additional wetland or wet pond pockets. So we can go to the next slide. And we'll jump, if we could, between this slide. Comparison of the impacts and the relative preferability of each of the alternatives occurs across a range of those. You see the 4 broad categories, but there's also a number of criteria within each of these categories. And the primary takeaway from this slide is that the assessment is a comprehensive across numerous considerations, and that each is important in its own way, although certainly not all considered equal. So we'll go next slide. And if I could have you jump slowly between the next slide and next slide and next slide. So alternative 1, 2, and 3, these are our dam-in alternatives. So from the air, they would look very much the same as what's existing there now. That it would just be either a do-nothing dam, or the next slide, which is a repaired dam, or the next slide after that, which is a replaced dam. These all have similar advantages and disadvantages. Advantages being the maintenance of that existing standing water, wetland habitat, and protection of the species that use it. It retains the county's fire water supply source in the same or even a slightly improved fashion, and it respects the cultural heritage and aesthetics of the area. The disadvantage being things like the negative cooling or the negative temperature impacts that I pointed out, the continued sediment transport limitation, the fish barrier to fish passage from upstream to downstream. There's public safety risks and LPRSA liability, and there's long-term operational costs and requirements that just come with owning and operating infrastructure like that. If we can go to the next slide, we get into the dam removal options, which is, as the name implies, we pull the dam out and we let that reservoir area renaturalize as a terrestrial wetland. And following, and alternative 5 on the next slide is pretty much the same as this, but we would go ahead and add extra wetland or wet pond pockets off to the side of it to sort of replicate some of that habitat that exists now. The advantages and disadvantages to alternatives 4 and 5 with the dam out are basically the flip of those with the dam in. So you get rid of the fish barrier, you get rid of the temperature impacts, you get rid of the liability and the long-term operating costs, but you lose the wetland, you lose the fire water supply source, which you would then have to replicate somewhere else, and so on. So if we can go next slide, just touching here because I know it's important to councils such as yourselves, is the economic side. Really summarizes that 2 of the alternatives, the repair dam and the remove dam with the natural water course, so numbers 2 and 4, are generally equivalent from a capital cost perspective, while from an overall lifespan perspective, the repair, replace, and remove the dam with offline wet features are generally equivalent. So not much more to say here. We can come through back to it if we need to. If I can go next slide. So we did not do all of this in a vacuum. We did our science, we did our engineering, but it was a broad stakeholder consultation process as well, ranging from the LPRCA's project-specific website, to mailings, to community liaison committees, to PICs. There was 2 PICs, Public Information Centers, held in Simcoe. The first had 90-plus people, and the second had around 70 people in attendance, which for a PIC for a project like this is impressive, and it does reflect the level of interest that the municipal or that the local public had in the project. So next slide. Having walked through the various alternatives, and this is a bit hard to see, and the pros and cons of each, this is really a bubbling up of a large spreadsheet of all of those criteria and constraints.
Scott, 1 minute, okay?
Okay, and the 2 things I'll point out are that the weightings for the 4 broad categories of technical, economic, social, and natural did not weigh out equally. Social, cultural, and natural did bubble to the top as the more important considerations in both the science and the consultation. The other thing I'll draw your attention to here is the red oval, which is really the conclusion of the study, and that is that the repair dam does come to the top as the preferred alternative. So last slide. It speaks to just what that repair dam alternative looks like. And it basically involves adding a lot of mass to the existing structure. So we're going to put a lot of concrete on that downstream spillway. In the photo where you see the water tumbling over the stop logs, instead of tumbling all the way to the bottom of the spillway, it'll hit a new concrete mass that will run it out and over the edge of the dam in a more controlled fashion to limit erosion. But it adds a lot of weight to the dam and basically stabilizes it in place. So with that, next steps is next slide, if we could. We're gonna, with your, this is for information today, we received board approval to publish the report from the LPRCA last week, and we will go ahead and finish that report and publish it for a 30-day review period. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the deputation? Councillor Button.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did hear the presentation at the Conservation Authority, but one of the things that I noticed when we were going through the review, Scott, was there's no sluiceway or gate on this dam, and my concern is how would that dam have been built without one? I mean, is that kind of odd? Or it seems odd to me. Whenever I've been involved, I've seen dams have a sluiceway and a gate.
Through the chair, it's hard for me to put myself in 1915 engineers' shoes to figure out why they wouldn't have done it. It is common. We did the NEA for Victoria last year, as you're aware, and it is of a similar vintage, and it did have a low-level sluice and a valve operation as well. So that is one thing. It's not in the sketch of the design repairs that I showed there was from a Stantec design they did in 2020. And it had made its way at least partially through the MNRF process, the approvals process, which any moving forward plan will need to do. It did not include a sluice, but I would recommend that it would be a useful addition. If you put that at the low level, at the spillway level, it gives you gives the LPRCA some operational flexibility to open the dam and drain the lake if they ever needed to for maintenance. Even now and again, under a high flow condition, you open the valve and you flush out some of that sediment. It will keep that area where the county draws their fire water supply from, keep it a little clear. You'd push the sediment out, which isn't good, but if you do it under a high flow condition, that sediment will stay entrained and move down. So it is absolutely a great point and something I would recommend adding to the design.
Yeah, and I think we discussed that at the board meeting on that. So, yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Columbus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Scott, what are the next steps, and when do you feel we'll see some repair taking place on this dam?
Through the chair, my role in this particular project, unless I was to win the next phases, ends with this EA. The next steps, given if the EA makes it through the review process and gets approved, then it's certified for basically implementation. The LPRC would have to undertake an implementation plan, much the same as what's currently happening for Victoria. And ultimately, you would go to construction for repair. I understand that the county and the LPRC have been putting money away knowing this was coming. And if I'm correct, I believe it's scheduled for in the 2027 range for actual implementation.
Thank you.
Very good. Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion, please, to accept the presentation as information? Councillor Brunton, seconded by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? Carried. Any other follow? Yes, Councillor Van Passen. We don't want this to be forgotten either.
I do believe when we did Victoria Dam a few years ago, that council also endorsed or made an endorsement of the preferred option of repair of the dam, and I think that we should put that motion forth again here, that we support the option 2 of the repair of the Teeterville Dam. Because I know when we had the public meetings, I think I got a call from every member of the Teeterville Legion. I think I got a call from every member of the Teeterville Fire Department, and probably half of the residents of Teeterville, and repairing the dam is the only option. And I'm sure Councillor Columbus got the same calls.
Okay, so that's a motion? Is that your, yeah, what, and can you just make it into a motion?
The Norfolk County Council endorses the option 2 of the repair of the Teeterville Dam.
Okay, very good. Seconded by Councillor Columbus. Did you want to speak to it also, Councillor?
Yes.
Yep.
Teeterville Dam and Pond is actually in Ward 3, and I can tell you, Councillor Van Passen is correct. My phone, I think some people have me on speed dial, call regularly. It is the focal point for Teeterville, and the citizens there will really appreciate moving forward with the repair.
Okay, and you were seconding that motion, correct? Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to it or debate? Okay, seeing none then, can I have a vote? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Scott. Okay. 7.2. Petro McCallum Limited, regarding the Norfolk County garage remediation. Welcome. You have 10 minutes for your presentation. I will let you know when you have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. My name is Scott Jeffrey. I'm Director and Regional Manager of Geotechnical and Geoenvironmental Services with Petro McCallum Limited. So I'm here to give you a brief status update on the Norfolk County Garage in situ bioremediation project. Next slide, please. So just wanted to start off with a brief background on the project. So the contamination at the site was first detected in 2008 during some geotechnical work for the rebuild of the Norfolk County garage. Subsequently, a number of investigations and monitoring programs were undertaken. In 2016, the contaminant plume was found to have reached Frederick Hobson VC Drive, which is about 35 meters away from the adjacent townhome block, and within the 2-year capture period of the Cedar Street Municipal Wellfield. So it was that detection that triggered some immediate remediation action. In 2016-17, there was some bulk excavation work. If we could move forward 1 slide, please. So in 2017 or 16-17, we undertook some bulk remediation excavations in the vacant lot north of the OPP station. We installed an extraction treatment system on the leading edge of the plume along Frederick Hobson Drive. And we installed a granular activated carbon wall along Rob Lake Parkway, just to the east of the woodlot. Next slide, please. So this slide depicts the approximate extent of the previous slide, depicts the approximate extent of the contaminant plume at the start of the more recent System 3 in situ remediation and treatment program. Next slide, please. Okay, so the current System 3 came online in 2020 with a 5-year operational plan to the end of 2025. System 3 includes an expansion of the System 2 pump and treat system, which was containing the plume within the woodlot. It also includes an inline manifold system, which allows for periodic injections of surfactants, nutrients, and cultured bacteria to effect an enhanced in situ bioremediation program. Next slide, please. So this next slide here shows the System 3 infrastructure plan. So the heavy red line on the outside is the approximate extent of the contamination zone at the start of the System 3 operation. A little bit difficult to tell, but the orange dots are the injection wells that are scattered throughout the property. The purple dots on there are extraction wells. Most of the wells are vertical installations. However, we do have a number of injection wells that were constructed with horizontal directional drilling that extend below the garage building proper. Next slide, please. So System 3 initially operated as an extraction, treatment, and then re-injection system. And then in May of 2022, we had our first injections of cultured bacteria to affect the in situ bioremediation component. Over the time of the program, PML has been conducting quarterly groundwater and soil monitoring to check the progress of the treatment. Next slide, please. So at the outset of the program, we're primarily dealing with F2 and F3 petroleum hydrocarbon contaminants. So these are characteristic of diesel fuel range. Exceedances that we're seeing at the outset of the program were 50 times or more the applicable site condition standards, and that was throughout that impacted area. Next slide. Okay, so a little bit difficult to see this one, but this is a graph that illustrates the contaminant concentrations of petroleum hydrocarbon fraction F2 in the groundwater through the duration of the 5-year monitoring program. So this slide is sort of illustrative of what we've seen with some of the other hydrocarbon fractions, as well as what we've sort of seen in the soil as well. So you can see in the initial years of the treatment, we had very high levels of petroleum hydrocarbon in the groundwater. These were throughout our monitoring locations, so widespread and fairly high level. We can see in 2002, those concentrations are starting to drop. That sort of coincides with the start of the bioremediation component. And then we've seen those levels sort of continue to drop through the remainder of the program. Now at the sort of the end of that 5-year program, we see the concentrations have come down very close to the site condition standards in many cases. We still do have, however, some occasional spikes of contamination within the monitoring area. However, by and large, we've seen a significant reduction in the overall concentration of the contaminants, as well as dispersion of the contaminants through that originally impacted zone. So the next 2 slides I think we can skip over. That's just more data. Next slide and next slide. Okay, so this is sort of where we're at as of our most recent monitoring earlier this fall. This drawing here shows the groundwater, the interpreted groundwater contaminant plume. So it's that red dashed line. So you can see that it's significantly reduced from that original larger contaminant plume. And just keep in mind in this photograph, although we've sort of delineated the contaminant plume here, a lot of these are lower level contaminants. The heaviest concentrations are still persistent in that sort of east garage area, west woodlot, so right at sort of the property boundary between those two properties. Go to the next slide. So this slide shows, again, the distribution of soil contamination within the monitoring area. So again, the heavy line is showing the interpreted delineated area of the soil contamination. And again, we're showing a fairly large area here, but some of these are lower level exceedances. The heavier exceedances are again right sort of at that property boundary between the garage lot and the wood lot. Next slide. Okay, so the current status. So the monitoring data is indicating that the contaminant plume has been substantially contained to the east garage area and the woodlot. The interpreted contaminant plume has significantly reduced in size with no off-site impacts detected to date. Some recent anomalous spikes have been noted, and we are seeing some localized exceedances. This is currently being investigated, but we're sort of attributing at this point to some fluctuations in the groundwater levels, either through natural conditions or as a result of fluctuating operation of the system, which has sort of mobilized some of the residual contaminants that exist just above the groundwater level. Currently, GIP is conducting some targeted injections to deal with some of those localized exceedances. But that being said, at the end of the 5-year program here, we are expecting that we're going to have some areas that sort of where contamination is persisting. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so this decision matrix is sort of what we go through at the end of the program here. So the main question that we ask ourselves is that do the soil and groundwater concentrations meet the applicable site condition standards? So in a best case scenario, in an ideal situation, we would answer that question yes, and we would move into sort of a short 1-year sort of monitoring and verification program, at which time after that concludes, if everything is still looking good, then we could complete the final remediation report, and then we would move into sort of a longer term, just infrequent due diligence monitoring program. As I mentioned, though, we do expect that we're going to have some residual contaminants to deal with at the end of the program. So we have to look at what the options are that are available to us to deal with that. So option 1, of course, would first be to, we could continue with the in-situ bioremediation program.
Sorry to interrupt 1 minute, okay?
Thank you. This is sort of proven to be sort of effective to this date in reducing the concentrations, but there's certainly some significant costs associated with that option. Option 2 would be to move into what we call a monitored natural attenuation program, where we allow the natural conditions to further reduce the concentration of contaminants. Option 3 would be to conduct some targeted removals. However, that's fairly expensive and disruptive to the existing infrastructure. Option 4 would be to move into a risk assessment process where we look at establishing what levels of contaminants can we safely manage on the property through either engineer control or operational restrictions. So we are recommending that option 2 would be the most cost-effective method, and that's the monitored natural attenuation. So the monitored natural attenuation, again, is a site remediation strategy that relies on the physical, chemical, and biological processes to reduce the contaminants. And it's different than a do-nothing approach because we're going to monitor it. So the monitoring steps for a M&A program would be to first complete the existing program, and then we would move into an initial 2-year quarterly monitoring program, followed by a reduced monitoring program in years 3 to 5. And then after that, we would evaluate the need for monitoring on an ongoing annual basis. Okay, last slide, please. So next slide. So that is the end of my sort of brief status update. Thank you, and would welcome any questions.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions to the deputation? Or sorry, the presentation. Mayor Martin.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Through you to Jeffrey. Seeking clarification, the bioremediation, does that work on both groundwater and soil, or is that meant for the soil?
Through the chair. Yes, it's for both soil and groundwater. So the way that the system works is that as the contaminated water is extracted, it's treated, and then re-injected along with the enhancements, and then that percolates through the soil down into the groundwater. So as it percolates down through the contaminated soil zone, it affects some treatment there. And then once it reaches the groundwater table, it will move with the groundwater and affect more treatment within the soil and the groundwater.
And additionally, for clarification, the spikes that you've noted in the groundwater are not, that is just groundwater. That's not in and around any of the wellhead area. I think you said 2.3 kilometers.
No, correct. So the contamination that we've initially delineated, we've significantly reduced that. It's now contained within the Norfolk County Garage property and the woodlot.
Okay. And
so we have not seen off-site impacts since completion of the original remediation program.
Thanks. And last question through you, Mr. Chair. So why is it that you've mentioned, you know, seeing those spikes, and you think it could be due to water levels and maybe seasonal changes? So why this year and not other years?
So through the chair, we have seen it periodically through the program where we see an initial spike, and then in a subsequent monitoring period, those concentrations drop back down. So it's not unusual to see it now at the end of the program. It's just, it's something we have seen periodically, but it hasn't persisted.
Thank you.
Councillor Columbus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I take it Peter McCallum's been involved with several contaminant cleanups. And how bad was this one compared to others that you've been involved with?
Through the chair. So this is, it's a little bit difficult to compare this project to others. Sort of contaminated sites like this can vary so widely. I would say this is a significant project, particularly in those earlier stages when we were dealing with fairly wide spread off-site migration of the contaminants and the threat to the municipal well system. The decisions that were taken sort of early on when we did do that remediation were sort of critical to contain the issue. But again, to compare it to something, it would have certainly some comparables. Others, you know, sometimes very small, sometimes are very large. So I would say this is on the larger side, but not necessarily the largest. Yeah.
Do you feel the original spill or whatever happened was accidental, or was it something that we or the employees just dumped?
So in the early stages of the investigation, there was a lot done to try to pinpoint the source of the contamination. In terms of looking back through all the historic operational records, as well as we did a number of subsurface scans and investigations to try to pinpoint the source of the contamination. We never did find sort of a conclusive point source for it, but the indications are that it was likely associated with a former underground storage tank, but certainly no indications that that tank is still present. So historically, underground storage tanks have been a primary source of contamination events like this.
Yeah, Councillor Vanderdriessche.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. Remediation, I wasn't here in the beginning stages. Obviously, it's been a long time ago and a long time coming to the stages that are there to clean it up. So when you remediated it, you took all that land out. You took all the soil away, and how deep did you go? I mean, remediation under a tank, I mean, familiar with that when you're on the farm. It goes so deep, and then I know the fear of where it goes. How deep did you go, just out of curiosity?
Through the chair. So there were several components to the remediation program that I spoke to. The initial action that was taken was to excavate that vacant lot north of the OPP lot or building. So I don't recall the exact depths, but I think we were down something like 5 meters deep in that vacant lot. So one of the reasons why the decision was taken to move to the in-situ treatment program was because remedial excavations of that sort, we couldn't obviously do that on the garage property without undermining the building, and basically it's not feasible to do it there. Similarly, within the woodlot, I believe at that time the county did not own the woodlot. So completing large excavations, removing all those trees was also not something that was feasible at that time. So it lent itself to an in-situ treatment program.
So an injection program?
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess this is a staff question. The property itself and the garage, is there, would there be a holding on it that no one could ever construct anything on that land that's the bush and that area? Is there a restriction on that? Would that go into perpetuity?
So, Councillor, there's a report coming up about this, so we'll get the staff
okay.
part of it then.
I'll ask that question then. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Any other questions for the presentation? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to receive the presentation? Councillor Hoffman, seconded by... Oh, not all at once. There you go. Councillor Columbus, thank you very much. All those in favor? And is there anything else we'd like to do with right now, or do we want to wait for the staff report to make any further action on this? We'll wait. Very good. Thank you so much. Okay. Where am I here? Sorry, just got to reorient myself here. Oh, so we got staff report 7.2.1. Oh, do you want to do the staff report now? Or are we doing the... Okay, so we're gonna throw that over to Sydney Clarice, our project lead, energy and facilities. We present the staff report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, and through the Chair to Council. The report before you today follows the presentation just provided by Pito McCallum Limited regarding the soil and groundwater remediation works at the Norfolk County Garage. This report also seeks Council approval to proceed with Option 2, system closeout and monitored natural attenuation, in light of the nearing expiry date of the current 5-year contract on December 31st, 2025. As outlined within the report and as determined by Pito McCallum Limited, active remediation efforts have substantially reduced contaminant concentrations, with remaining impacts stable and contained within county-owned property. In consideration of this, staff are recommending proceeding with Option 2 in alignment with the consultant's professional recommendation and opinion, which provides a cost-effective path forward that remains fully compliant with any regulatory requirements. Should Council elect to proceed with this option, it would enable the county to demobilize the active treatment system and transition to a structured monitoring and contingency program to ensure continued environmental protection and risk mitigation. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions of Council.
Councillor Vandendriessche, please.
Thank you very much, and through you. And here's where the point is. Because it is a contaminated portion and you're monitoring it now, is there anything that should be put in the books for perpetuity to say you cannot, in 20 years, dig up that bushland and try to do some sort of construction on it? Is there something that will go along with this so that it's written in black and white and clear to the public?
Yeah, so through the Chair to Councillor Vandendriessche, you can actually sell property that has contamination present on it. You would obviously have to disclose that to any potential buyers, but we have sold properties for incremental value with contamination, and then they would then be required to follow those regulatory requirements under the Ontario provincial regulation.
Go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, is that in good faith? And at the end of the day, when we have a piece of property like this, knowing that we're monitoring it, it is not cured, it is not in a happy place at the moment. I can see selling it, but I wouldn't do it, but you know what I mean? Okay, I'm just wondering, in good faith, why would one let a county sell something knowing that you're still monitoring the property?
Yeah, I can add through the chair to Councillor Vanden Drieschie. It's not particularly uncommon. Obviously, it's not favorable. The property value decreases when you go to sell contaminated lands. I just wanted to note with some of the other options that were presented as well, if the lot were fully remediated, we would be required to do 5 years of monitoring anyways to get a record of site condition as per the regulation from the province. There could be an option at the end of the 5-year monitoring program where staff could come back to council and suggest maybe we do want to excavate, and if there are plans to either develop or to sell that property, the woodlot, which is adjacent to the garage, we could look into that then too.
Okay, Councillor Brunton.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I had Councillor Van Passen first. Yeah,
that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I thought the reason that we spent $9,951,000 was to eliminate the contamination. And if I understand our consultant's report correctly, that, you know, we were very aggressive, gradually slowed down, and the current status is that over the next 5 years, Mother Nature will take care of the rest, and at that point we reassess, and if it's still bad, we'd have to do something different, or we let Mother Nature take care of it for a bit longer. But I thought the whole idea of spending all this money was to make it gooder. Am I incorrect in my thoughts, or I wonder if staff could comment on that?
Sure, and through the chair to Councillor Van Passen, as mentioned, in situ, it's never guaranteed. You can't necessarily put a timeline on it. I shouldn't say it's not guaranteed, but it could take longer than you anticipate. So when you're doing those injections in the well banks, I like to make the comparison of if you get headaches commonly and you're taking Tylenol and you build up a dependence to it, the PHCs do that with some of the biological components that you're injecting in those wells. So you may need to reconfigure the structure of those components and learn what the PHCs do respond to. So there still has been aggressive treatment. And that being said, after the 5-year program, there is the option, after we look at the data and the monitoring data, compile the data, and come up with a report after 5 years, we could move to option 4, which is a risk assessment, which would ask for specific site condition standards from the province that are higher, the exceedances would be higher, and also be acceptable for our property use through the province, which would mean we wouldn't have to require, there might be some annual due diligence monitoring we would have to do, but it would be scaled back after those 5 years.
Very good. Councillor Brunton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the report, Sydney. It's clear, very clear, but I need some clarification on the finance here for a minute, if I may. We budgeted 10.4 million. We borrowed 7.5, is that, or debentured 7.5? I'm a little uncertain here. It says we're gonna have 450,000 under budget. Well, it's all over budget to me. I mean, $10 million we didn't have, we had to borrow it. But 450,000, is that gonna carry us through now? Like you're saying that's money we saved, that's fine, but what do you think we're looking at moving forward? Is that what the 450 is for?
Through the chair to Councillor Brunton, so I can certainly start, and then if you have any comments, I'd welcome your input as well. So yes, 10.4 was the original budget, and we have issued 7.5 so far. So we do have another issuance coming on this project. That'll be probably coming forward with the other projects that we're looking to issue in 2026. I would say before the end of Q1, you'll see that. The project, once all is said and done, will be under budget by approximately $450,000. And so we will be issuing $450,000 less than what we had anticipated. And so what we're able to do then in the 2026 draft budget is to decrease what we were anticipating to have as debt costs, and then to accommodate the monitoring costs as forecasted in the report. So that's why we're looking for the budget amendment in the resolution to bring that project down, and then we will be able to reduce our debt costs and accommodate the monitoring ongoing should council approve the report.
Okay, so what do you anticipate going forward as far as cost?
Through the chair to Councillor Brunton, we're looking at, well, we would be moving this to operating since it would be kind of more operational, I guess, with the monitoring program, but about $65,000 a year, and that's being conservative under the Ontario Wells regulation. When you are inspecting the wells, if any are in disrepair, you would be required to keep them operational and in good maintenance. So there's a bit of a contingency in that proposed operating budget for that.
$65,000 a year, but we don't know for how long, correct?
As of right now, for 5 years.
5, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Sydney? Okay. What do we want to do with this? And I guess we're going to receive it as information. So can I have a motion for that, please? Mover. Councillor Van Adrici, seconder. Councillor Huffman, thank you.
We have the motion on the screen for the staff report too.
Okay. And then, sorry, that's separate from the receiving it?
That's the staff report, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry, my mistake. We don't need a motion to receive. My mistake. What we're doing the motion for is on the screen. So if I could have a mover for that. Councillor Brunton, seconded by Councillor Van Adrici. Okay. Any discussion or debate on that before I call the vote? Okay, seeing none then. All of those in favor? It is carried. Thank you so much, Sydney, for the great job. Thank you, everybody. Excuse me. How are we doing? Does anybody need a break for a minute here? Or are we okay? Keep plugging away? Okay, we'll finish deputations. Next. Yeah. All right. Then next, we have 7.3. We have Todd Stepaniuk from the Norfolk General Hospital. Build a Better Hospital campaign. Welcome, Todd. You have 10 minutes. I will let you know when you have one left.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Your Worship, Mr. Chair and members of Council. It's always a distinct pleasure for me to have the opportunity to attend a portion of your Council meetings. And before I just get started, just want to wish all of you and your families a very blessed Christmas for the upcoming holidays. So with me this afternoon, delighted to have integral members of our team. So I'm joined by Sarah Flowerday, the interim CEO of the Norfolk General Hospital Foundation, Peter Krause. Peter is the chair of the Norfolk General Hospital Board of Directors. And with me as well is Jason Smith, who's the integrated director of facilities and capital planning for NGH and West Haldeman. And all of you know, of course, Aaron Gautreau, my director of communications. And joining us virtually is Brad Allender. Brad is the chair of the Norfolk General Hospital Foundation Board of Directors, and Brad was also the chair of the Build a Better Hospital campaign. So we are elated this afternoon to have the opportunity just to share with you that how pleased we are to have launched the first of the Build a Better Hospital campaign capital projects, and that's our innovative, transformative MIS, minimally invasive surgical project. Again, first of a few. So this project has been a long time coming for us as an organization, as well as for many of our patients. As you may know, and may recall from your tour of NGH, the ORs were constructed back in 1964, and Councillor Columbus was sharing with me one of the surgeries he had not too long ago, when it was still considered state-of-the-art. So here we are, fast forward 61 years, and we're no longer state-of-the-art. So this initiative is really going to be, for us, a milestone in terms of moving forward. We do about 4,200 surgeries from a laparoscopic, colonoscopy, if you will, endoscopy perspective. And this will allow us, of course, to, again, regain our strength with regards to being state-of-the-art, to drive patient throughput, meet increasing demands. This project will take place over the next 7 months. And really is a result of the unwavering and steadfast commitment of our official fundraising arm, the NGH Foundation, our key partner, and of course, all of you. Greatly appreciate our deep appreciation for your steadfast commitment. So having stated that, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah and to Brad, and then Peter will have the hammer, if you will, and provide some concluding comments. So, Sarah, I'll turn it over to you and to Brad.
Thank you. We just want to say thank you for the opportunity to present this to you, and Brad has something he'd like to say.
Yes, thank you through the chair, and thank you, Mayor Martin and council, for your time today. Certainly appreciate it. I'm presenting as both the former co-chair of the BBH campaign and the current board chair of the Norfolk General Hospital Foundation. The purpose of the Norfolk General Hospital Foundation, which was founded in 1985 and articled in 1986, is a community-based foundation which raises the much-needed capital needs of our hospital. In historical context of the BBH campaign, over 10 years ago, NGH, Norfolk General Hospital, embarked on the BBH campaign to raise between $10 and $13 million to fund capital improvements to the MIS suites, modernize labor and delivery, and surgical daycare. From the beginning, the BBH project was to be completed in 3 phases. The order is not important because obviously all 3 phases couldn't be done at once and keep the hospital functional. Much time has passed since 2016. 3 hospital administrations, a global pandemic put a pause to the much needed hospital upgrades, but the time has finally arrived to complete the work. Capital upgrades for hospitals, you must be aware, are not funded by any government. They are funded by the citizens of the community. Our hospital, its amazing medical staff, and our community deserves the best equipment and facilities that we can provide. It's a drawing source to your community. It's sort of like a chicken or an egg scenario. Modern facilities and equipment attract the best and most qualified medical talent and professionals to our great community and all that it has to offer. And we understand the competition out there is fierce to get these professionals to come to our community. So having the best of facilities and the best of equipment is essential. The foundation itself raised $2.9 million towards that objective through the Build a Better Hospital campaign. And Norfolk County wisely set aside $5 million to support the BBH initiatives. So I'm excited to come before you today to speak to the BBH's vision becoming a reality and finally putting that money to work for the citizens of Norfolk County. Why? There's much needed improvements to our hospital's infrastructure to vastly improve the delivery of medical care to the citizens of Norfolk County. Todd has provided you all the details, and now it's time we provide the funds to execute the plan. Starting with phase 1, the reconstruction of the minimally invasive suites. The Norfolk County funds will flow through the NGH Foundation as was originally intended, and as the gatekeeper of our community's donated funds and their specific intended purposes. Phase 1 will use the $3 million transferred from the Norfolk County funds committed by the county, along with the $1 million from the NGH Foundation's BBH campaign to reconstruct the minimally invasive surgical suites. The remaining balances will remain intact and will be used for phase 2 and the revitalization and modernization of labor and delivery. All I can say is that from my perspective, being part of it since 2016 till now, these are pretty exciting times as it's finally time to put this money to work for the immediate improvements of healthcare delivery for the citizens of Norfolk County. So on behalf of our community, I want to sincerely thank you, Mayor, Council, and staff for your commitment to this project. And with that, I'd like to turn it back to Todd. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brad. Well said. Brad mentioned about exciting time. It's an energizing time. It's an energizing time for us as an organization. As you can appreciate, it's an energizing time for our patients now being able to, in 7 months from now, 8 months, be able to step into a state-of-the-art, right, MIS suite. So when you think about all of the scopes that we do as an organization, it'll be less invasive for them. Turnaround times will be quicker. Throughput will be better. They'll be doing it in a much more patient-centered environment. And I'm going to take the opportunity at this point in time just to turn the mic over to Peter Kraus, the chair of the NGH Board of Directors, just to say a few words. Peter.
Thank you, Todd. And Mr. Chair, Madam Mayor, and members of council, just wanted to reiterate the mission and vision of the Norfolk General Hospital. The mission is to deliver high-quality, integrated, and innovative care together with our partners. Our vision is to foster healthier communities through exceptional rural health care close to home. And the release of these funds will align well with the mission to have a a hospital that operates modern and has modern facilities. In addition, the hospitals traditionally have also been economic drivers in the community. So as long as we have current medical facilities and exceptional staff, I think we'll also be an economic driver for the Norfolk County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, that's everything.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Any questions for the presentation? Yeah, Councillor Button.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your presentation. And I do have a couple of questions. I understand you said we're underway by the end of the year. Who is your successful contractor?
So we're actually underway currently. So the successful contractor, I'll ask Jason Smith. So we've engaged a firm out of Niagara Falls through an RFP process. So Jason can share who the final successful bidder was.
Yeah, it's Merit Contracting Limited.
Sorry?
Merit, M-E-R-I-T. They have experience doing many, many hospital jobs in Hamilton, Niagara, et cetera.
Okay, and the question I have is, I was here in 2016 when I guess we come up with a $5 million figure. And my question to you is, at the time it was a $13 million project, and I assume that was a breakdown of the two you're talking about? Or is there more now?
Yeah, so as a great question through you, Mr. Chair, to Councillor Brunton. So as Brad mentioned, the fundamental premise of Build a Better Hospital campaign was 3 major capital projects.
Okay.
Not in any rank order. There was MIS, minimally invasive. That's the one that we've just launched.
Yes.
Second would be labor and delivery. Labor and delivery, if all the stars align, I hope to drive that in early 2027. And then the final project is same-day surgery. Those were the 3 projects that Build a Better Hospital campaign. That was the foundation for Build a Better Hospital campaign.
Okay, and is that anticipated to still be within the 13 million?
Yeah, so right now, when you take a look at MIS and we take labor and delivery, we're anticipating, and again, we haven't gone to RFP, but given Jason's rudimentary math, not so much rudimentary, I trust his math, labor and delivery would be about $5 million. So these 2 projects will be $9 million. That
Right.
would leave us, give or take, with about $4 million for same-day surgery.
Oh, okay, and you're, I guess you call it your endowment fund or your...
Yeah, so if there's any shortfall at the end of the day after these 2 projects, then given the incredible and ongoing efforts of our official fundraising arm, the NGH Foundation, and the generosity of our donors, and recognizing that the donors that have been cultivated through the foundation, they really identify us as being the charity of choice. I have the utmost confidence that they'd be able to secure those remaining funds, but I'll turn over to Sarah if she wants to maybe chime in.
Historically, if you look at our efforts, that speaks for itself, I would say. Yeah. So I have no qualms saying that we would be able to raise the appropriate funds. This community is outstanding. They always come through for us. There has never been a shortfall.
Yeah, no, what caught my attention is in the almost 10 years since we agreed to the 5 million, that the overall cost of your project hasn't escalated that much when you come right down to it.
I can't speak.
Yeah, so sorry. So yeah, from an MIS perspective, we're close. Labor and delivery, again, that's 2027. So RFP for that will probably be issued sometime latter part of 26, give us we'll have a much better idea. And then when I look at same-day surgery, that'll be a few years out, obviously, because we can't do all these projects, to Brad's point, in parallel. We have to sequence them. We'll have a better idea at that point in time. But to Sarah's point, you know, I've been here now for 3 years, as you know, and the degree of pride and ownership that our donors have in our organization, like, it truly is humbling, right? So to Sarah's point, you know, their track record is beyond reproach from a foundation perspective, and I have no doubt that they would be successful. If there's a need to raise additional money, that they'd be able to do that.
Thank you.
Councillor Columbus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Todd, the Council of the Day nearly 10 years ago pledged $5 million, and you're looking for $3 million to be released here. So that's not, the other $2 million, are you waiting for the province? There's something here where the province, we're waiting for the province to kick in some dollars.
No, so if I may, so through you, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to bring up your I didn't give any details about your surgery, though, Councillor Columbus.
Brain transplant.
So with regards to this project and labor and delivery, those will be, from a Ministry of Health perspective, capital planning branch perspective, those will be self-funded projects. Okay, the ministry will not contribute dollars towards these projects at the end of the day. So when we look at, as Brad mentioned and as Sarah mentioned, there's $2.9 million through the Build a Better Hospital campaign, in addition to the $5 million that's been very generously committed to by the council. At the end of the day, again, we are on the hook for 100% of those dollars, and what we would consider to be community share or local share. So there's no ministry money forthcoming with regards to MIS or labor and delivery. Same day surgery, don't know yet. That's too far down the runway at this point. So, and the reason, as Brad said, that, you know, Brad's right, you know, the goal is to keep $2 million from the county, right? Keep the balance of that with the county until we're ready to launch labor and delivery. And then we'd come back for the $2 million from the county, and then the foundation would still have 1.9 million in balance. So we would have $3.9 million, would be about $1 million short, right? But through the ongoing efforts of the foundation, as Sarah said, we would have little reservations that they'd be successful in raising that shortfall, if there is a shortfall.
You're telling us the province will not match anything. Is that what you're indicating?
Correct, yeah. So with regards to the MIS project, the ministry, through written correspondence, made it clear that the condition of this project for being moved ahead would have to be self-funded. Correct. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Any further questions? Yep, Mayor.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Through you to Todd, Sarah, Peter, Jason, Brad, thanks for coming. So just before I get into my questions, can you state the dollar value that you're asking for council to release right now?
Yes, it's through you, Mr. Chairman, to her worship. So the request is for $3 million.
And that is for the work that's already begun through the firm that you went through an RFP process with, and that is for MIS.
Solely for MIS.
Correct.
That's right. And MIS will be a 7-month journey, so it'll be completed in, I'll say June-ish of 2026, Your Worship.
Okay. So I'm hoping you can maybe go back in time a little bit here with me, because, you know, one of the big questions that I've received on this topic is, you know, that council is throwing good money after bad because we don't have a new hospital and we don't have a new location, and that's what we should be fundraising for. So the hospital opened in 1925 with 25 beds, and in 2015, when the Build a Better Hospital campaign launched, there were 100 beds. How many beds are there today?
So currently, it's a good question. So 113, but when we surge up, so we have surge beds, we have over 130.
Okay. And in that time, the services and the legislative requirements have certainly fluctuated. So 2015, there were about 30,000 ER visits and 41,000 hospital admissions and 333 babies. All of that has kind of fluctuated. I've researched some numbers from 23, 24 to 25,000 ER visits and 177 babies, but I'm aware that you're now running a lot more services, health services for folks. Can you speak on some of those?
Yeah, thank you so much, Your Worship. So you're exactly right. So from a service delivery perspective, we, like many hospitals, have, even pre-COVID, have focused our attention on looking at the deinstitutionalization, for lack of a better word, of programs and services. So more outpatient services, more ambulatory care services, more clinics, as an example, as a means of really trying to prevent admission in the first place. So we've done partnerships with Alzheimer's Society. We've got a program called NLOT through long-term care, where we're trying to prevent admissions from long-term care facilities into the hospital as well. And I would say that on any given day, there is a burgeoning demand for our services in the community. So when we look at ED services as an example, you know, the percent, so there's I won't bore you, but there's a national triage level called CTAS, and it goes from level 1 to 5. So increasingly, more of our patients that are presenting to the ED are higher acuity than they have been in the past. And as you can also appreciate when you look at the demographics as well within Norfolk County, increasingly more of those patients are coming in that are more senior, more fragile, more vulnerable than they have been in the past, and many of them do require admission. ICU is a good example of that. If we were to look at our intensive care unit occupancy rates, and that's not the be-all, end-all, but throughout our organization, you'd be hard-pressed to find days where we're not running close to 100% occupancy, if not running at 100, and that's why I talked about surge beds before, Your Worship. So we stand up surge beds based upon demand, and we're able to stand those up with the incredible efforts of our staff and our physicians.
And so through you, Mr. Chair, to Todd, the hospital and the foundation specifically worked to bring in new mammography unit recently, and you're currently fundraising for new beds. Will you and will the foundation shift over to fundraising towards the completion of the BBH work? I'm sure it's going to run over the more than $5 million that Norfolk has. So what's the next step in the fundraising queue?
Thank you. So through you, Mr. Chairman, to Her Worship, maybe I could ask Brad and Sarah to speak to that, if you don't mind.
Sure. Through the chair to the mayor's question, we basically participate on an annual basis in the capital process that the hospital runs from an operational perspective, and then we commit to a significant amount of funding. So any extra, for example, any extra funds that were required for the mammogram were also included in part of the 2025 capital process. So we would commit to supporting the needs of the hospital, and as the certain phases come forward for the Build a Better Hospital campaign, like labor delivery, which would be phase 2, we would then obviously set out a separate capital campaign to address the shortfall that's required there. So yeah, we are consistently in communication and in partnership with the needs of the capital needs of the hospital. The reality is we raise between 650 and 700 net on an annual basis lately, but we're also working towards raising our game to make sure that we can take that up to close to 2 million annually.
I think Brad pretty much answered you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So how much of what work you're going to be doing is able to be moved to a new hospital should you have one tomorrow? How much of it's brick and mortar, and if the majority is brick and mortar, why is it important to?
I wish you were Minister, Mr. Chair, through you, to Your Worship, I wish you were Minister of Health, if I have him tomorrow. If you don't mind, maybe I could ask Jason to speak to that, from Director of Capital Planning and Facilities, if you don't mind, Your Worship.
You have blanket approval to call up whoever you'd like from, okay.
Through your chair to Your Worship, I don't know if I did that correctly, but we'll just go with it. So the projects themselves, a large part of them are bricks and mortar, because again, it's new electrical services, new mechanical services, new medical gas, things, pipes and bricks and such that are in the building. Some of the equipment itself, new gas machines, operating tables, things of that nature are certainly movable and mobile to a new hospital. As far as why it is needed now, I think a lot of that comes to the length of time it takes to plan for new hospitals. And so when I think about the minimally invasive surgical suites, the MIS project that we're doing, and we're putting 2 of those operating rooms up to the current standards, with the exception of the physical square footage, because my building pusher didn't work and I couldn't make the building bigger than it is. So all of the other current standards will be met with the booms, with the tables, with the lighting, with all of the IPAC compliant finishes in those rooms, so that we can deliver that care. And the reality is that it's going to take many years to be able to get a new hospital. Now, I'll leave it to Todd to talk perhaps a little bit more about how long that period is and the ministry planning process. But I think delivering that to the community now and making those 2 operating rooms, going from 3 to 4 operating rooms within the hospital is going to really service the community.
Okay, through you, Mr. Chair, I guess this is my last line of questioning that, to whomever wants to speak to it. I'm kind of asking you questions, playing devil's advocate. I know the importance of the hospital. I know that we need to keep the hospital open and running, and I also know that Norfolk County residents deserve better, as do the staff who work in that hospital. The facility, it's antiquated, to say the least. And so to that end, what is the argument that council makes to the public, and what is the argument that you make to your donors when you suggest that they open their wallets for a facility that was built in 1925? And what I'm getting at is, what can you share with us about a new hospital?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, through to her worship. So great insightful question, so thank you for that, your worship. So I'll answer the chronology in which you presented, if you don't mind. So in terms of the message to residents of Norfolk County, they should have the same expectation of any other county within our great province of Ontario in terms of access to high-quality, patient-centered care. And as you can appreciate from a workflow perspective, when you look at the building itself, you're right, dates back to 1920s. The ORs are in the 1960s, building 61 years old. So from an organizational perspective, we are committed on any given day to make sure that we're forging ahead, to make sure that we're doing our utmost to upgrade, update, and modernize the facility where we're able to do that. Jason talked about things like electricity, and a lot of the infrastructure that's outdated. And that's very, very true. But first and foremost, at the top of our mind, and Peter talked about our mission and our vision, right? It's all about the patient. The patient is always front and center, and it's always front of mind for all of us. So recognizing that a new facility is probably at least a decade away, right? I think that still behooves us, right, to making sure that we are doing our utmost to invest, right, in high-quality, patient-centered care, right? I think that from a public perspective, from a patient perspective, I think they should expect nothing less, and they should have an expectation on us as an organization that we're doing our utmost to propel the hospital forward in their best needs. In terms of new hospital, so the NGH Board of Directors has approved, just approved actually, a master plan. A master plan will get us into the, I'd say, the embryonic stages of the ministry's capital planning framework, Ministry of Health capital planning process. So that plan will be sent off to the ministry probably in the next 2 weeks. Like the CAO, even though they're closed, we're still working. So we'll be sending something off imminently to the ministry. We've met with the Ministry of Health and Capital Planning Branch with regards to our master plan, with regards to NGH. From their perspective, I think it's very compelling in terms of looking at the rationale, the rationale as to why we need a new building. There's no argument there at all. It's not a values debate. And looking at, from a service delivery perspective, the size and scope of what that building is going to look like. So this will be the entry point for us with regards to the ministry's capital planning process. And once we get their approval for that, then we'll get a capital planning grant. We'll move on to functional programming. Then we'll move on to block schematics, detailed design drawings, and then we'll move on to RFP process, et cetera. But it is a very, I would say, and you would appreciate this as a council with the ministries you deal with, it's a very regimented and very regulated process. But we feel that it's absolutely essential for us to get in the queue with regards to looking at not a rebuild, but a new build for new NGH to serve the residents of this great county for another century.
Do you have others in the queue, or can I continue? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So is it that capital planning process that's a decade long, or is it the construction of a new facility that's a decade long?
Yeah, so great question. So I always joke to my team, if we had a certain type of mold infestation at NGH, then we might be able to get a new build much more sooner, imminently. But all kidding aside, for us, the average planning cycle with Ministry of Health, Treasury Board, et cetera, is usually about 10 years, Your Worship. And that's to go through all the capital planning cycles, look at post-construction operating budgets, get to the RFP stage, go through all the municipal requirements, building code requirements, et cetera. And then, of course, the ministry has to sign off. Once we generate an RFP, our board, the NGH Board of Directors, under Peter's leadership, they would formulate a recommendation as to the lowest bidder or the bidder of choice. The ministry has to agree to that. So there are timelines associated like that that we have to be compliant with, just as you do for certain elements as well.
Okay, maybe my last question is, do you have any exciting updates without sharing too much information that you can share with council and the public on the work that you've been doing on that front?
Okay, so thank you, Your Worship. So with regards to NGH and the Campus of Care and the Norfolk Hospital Nursing Home, as you know, we've been continuing to work in close collaboration with the Ministry of Long-Term Care, and I just commented on the meetings that we've been having with the Ministry of Health Capital Planning Branch. So NH&H is imminent in terms of moving ahead. As you know, the single obstacle and impediment has been land, the ability to secure land. So both the NGH Board of Directors and the NH&H Board of Directors at their most recent meetings did pass a resolution with regards to a preferred site. So our legal counsel, which represents both organizations, even though they're two separate legal entities, and the landowner are currently meeting, working that through, and hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement under Peter's leadership and under Mark's leadership at the nursing home in the not too distant future, Your Worship. So thank you.
Very exciting. Thank you.
Pretty good. Mary, okay, we're good. Councillor Huffman.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. I just want to go back. I have one question just from hearing everything all together now. Why you're doing the MIS now, and then you're doing L&D and then day surgery. With the component you mentioned about the aging population here in Norfolk County, why would we not do day surgery and then L&D?
Thanks, through you, Mr. Chairman. It's a great question. Thank you for that. So when you look at the demographics, and we use the Watson report that the county council had engaged a few years ago, and when you look at demographics, yes, there's a growth swing for people over the age of 65, but if you also look at the population of women that are childbearing age in the county, we know, right, that our goal in our strategic plan that we just minted last year is to reach 500 deliveries. And that demand is there. So as you know, we have midwives, as an example, that have privileges at the hospital. Primary care physicians will refer their patient to wherever they wish to go, which is absolutely 100% reasonable. But our goal is to capture more of that market share with regards to labor and delivery. Thank you for that.
Councillor Broughton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I guess Todd or somebody can answer this. I'm a little bit misunderstanding of how does your administrative staff look after Haldeman Hospital? And if so, how do you differentiate with the finances in terms of, we're dealing with Norfolk here today, correct?
Yes, 100%. Yes, so through you, Mr. Chairman. So a great question, Councillor Brunton. So yes, so the senior team, and actually let me reframe that, as of last year, I actually integrated the entire management team between West Haldeman and Norfolk General Hospital from an efficiency perspective and optimization. So yes, so West Haldeman General Hospital, completely separate legal entity, different board of directors. Because it's a separate entity, budgets are different foundation. Staff are employed there as employees of West Haldeman General Hospital versus NGH.
Okay, so, but their needs are all separate from any funding.
100%, yes.
Do they have a lot of needs just like we do here in Norfolk?
Yeah, so I would say every hospital in the province of Ontario has operational needs and capital needs. So not only patient care needs, but also Jason talked about, and spoke about infrastructure needs and infrastructure upgrades and the needs of aging facilities in the province of Ontario. So West Haldeman was built in 1964-65. So it, of course, as well, is about 60 plus years old. So we're in the process of also submitting a master plan for the redevelopment of the West Haldeman General Hospital. It's a bit different though, because West Haldeman General Hospital, it's not landlocked. We're blessed by having an abundance of green space at West Haldeman General Hospital.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions for the presentation? All right. We have a staff report to follow this, so I'm going to go ahead and get a motion to accept this as information. Thank you, Councillor Huffman, seconded by Mayor Martin. Okay, very good. All those in favor? Okay, can we get, who's got the staff report? Amy Fanning, Treasurer. Oh, sorry. Councillor Michelle, did I miss you?
No, you got me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Fanning.
Thank you, Councillor Very. The purpose of this report is to provide an update to Council on the Norfolk General Hospital capital campaign projects and to seek Council's direction on the potential release of the funds which have been accrued to fulfill Norfolk's pledge of support to the Build a Better Hospital campaign. In 2016, Norfolk General Hospital Foundation completed a deputation to Council that resulted in a pledge of $500,000 per year for 10 years, not to exceed $5 million. Since that time, staff have annually accrued the related $500,000 funded by interest earned in the county's legacy fund investments. A total of $5 million has now been earned and accrued to fulfill the county's pledge. Over the years, other updates have come to Council, and more details on those are included in the report. At this time, the hospital has now tendered the minimally invasive surgery work, as we've just heard from the presentation, and they're seeking a contribution from Norfolk County to support the ongoing work over the next several months. Staff are seeking Council's direction on the release of a portion of the accrued funds and would be glad to answer any questions that Council may have.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? We'll go with Councillor Columbus first here. Oh, sorry, Mayor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to staff, full support of releasing the funds to the foundation. Kudos to the former term of council for planning ahead and putting this money aside and good use of the legacy fund. However, I'm wondering if there can be an amendment made or some additional caveat that on the $2 million remaining. Glad to see it's going to be held with us and we'll collect the interest and so on. However, just given today's economic climate, we know that everything is very expensive and very overpriced. So should labor and delivery come in at a dollar value that exceeds what the hospital and the foundation board have prepared for, that we would only release the funding to the foundation when Norfolk General Foundation has fully collected the outstanding dollar value. I just don't want to be caught in a technical spot where they're ready to go to tender and pay half or pay a percentage, and they take the $2 million from us, but then they're, in a position that they need to stop or change work on a project because they don't have the funding available themselves to make up the difference. I have full faith in them to be able to fundraise, but I just would like to ensure that the funding stays in Norfolk County coffers, earning interest as long as it can, and then we'll turn it over to fulfill our commitment.
Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, absolutely. We can revise the recommendation to read something along the lines that the balance of the commitment of $2 million will be released once a confirmation from NGH is had to cover the entire cost of the next phase of renovations.
Yeah, Councillor Van Passen.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think we can just simplify it more, that the remaining $2 million be held for the construction of the labor and delivery project, and when they're ready to go, they're going to come and make another presentation so we can get up for it and make a specific request for it. So why put conditions on it today? Let's find out the day they're ready for it. They'll come and ask.
Oh, Councillor Van Driesche has thoughts. Oh, yes, Councillor Van Driesche.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you, I'd rather have it that we know that the project will succeed and that it has its dollars behind it before we do release our $2 million. So what the mayor has spoken about is basically where I stand. I'm not going to just because you commit to start a project, you start giving the money, we don't know if they have the sufficient funds to complete it. So I would be feeling more comfortable to see that the dollars are there.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. We're going to hold on to it until they come and ask for it the next time, whenever that is, whether that's in 2027 and they're ready to go to tender, or whether it's 10 years down the road when they're ready to go to tender. But
Point
we're
of
just going to
order,
hold
we're
it till they
debating
come
a
and
motion
ask.
that doesn't have a seconder.
Yeah, no, I got you. So, and I think we're saying the same thing more or less. So, okay, so before we continue, can I get a seconder for the motion as it, okay, so Councillor Huffman, very good. Did you want to add anything there before I go to Councillor Brunton? Okay, Councillor Brunton.
Well, I don't think it's any different what we've just completed on the first phase here. The gentleman said they have a tender, they have a contractor, and that's, I don't think they're going to ask for our money unless they get in that position again. That's really what we're saying. Well,
pretty much, yeah.
It is. Why would they come in and ask
yes.
for our money if they don't have enough money to do the job? Okay? Plain and simple to me. Thank you.
Okay, so, yeah, Mayor Martin.
Thanks. Just to clarify, it is plain and simple, and I fully, again, put my full faith in the foundation, and they will come forward and do exactly what they've just done. However, this motion and the motion from 2016 never specified that. So it's just cleaning up the language, just covering our butts and looking after the best interest of Norfolk County taxpayers to ensure we're collecting interest on those legacy dollars as long as we possibly can.
Okay. We do, yeah. Who was? Yeah, okay. Councillor Brunton was a seconder, was he? Okay. So we have a mover and a seconder. Is there any other comment or debate before we call the vote? I keep saying we, the royal we call the vote. Okay, all those in favor? Very good. Opposed? Okay. Well, it's the vote's been.
I got a question. The way the current
Councillor Van Pass, we've just had the vote though.
I vote no because I don't understand the motion.
Fair enough. That's a no.
So if somebody could explain this, that council provide direction to staff to release the 3 million, but then the last line said that the funding only be released when they confirm that all the remaining funding is in place. Is that referring to the first 3 million or the second 3 million? Second 2 million, sorry.
Yeah, it's the second 2 million, and we've called the vote.
Yeah,
so
there, that, okay, thank you.
Okay. Good.
I can support it now.
Very good. We're good. All right. That said, thank you very much, hospital team, for being here with us today. Yes. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a break here because, goodness. So let's say 10 minutes? Okay, thanks. 15 minutes. Okay, 15.
Right to your email inbox. Want to visit us in person? Come to one of our friendly customer service counters in Simcoe, Monday to Friday, or Delhi, Tuesday to Thursday. Service Norfolk, connecting you to Norfolk County services.
Meet Captain Clean, the toilet paper superhero, here to protect Norfolk County's pipes and keep everything flowing smoothly. Remember, only flush the 3 Ps: pee, poop, and toilet paper. Flushing anything else can cause big trouble. Things like wipes, hair, or grease can create sewer blockages. These blockages restrict flow, combine with other debris, and cause costly damage, overflow, and even water pollution. By sticking to the 3 Ps, you can help prevent clogs, reduce repair costs, and keep our water clean. For items you can't flush, proper disposal is key. Throw regular waste in the garbage. Do not believe claims on packaging that products are flushable. Take it from Captain Clean, they are not. Household hazardous waste can be dropped off at Norfolk's temporary depots during spring and fall. For things like medication and sharps disposal, take them to your local pharmacy or the health unit. And remember, grease belongs in the trash, but let it cool and store it first. Don't pour it down the drain. Be a flushing hero like Captain Clean. Together we can protect our pipes, our homes, and the environment. Remember, only flush the 3 Ps. Norfolk County, is counting on you.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm here to take you behind the scenes for a quick look at what we do at Norfolk County's water treatment facility. Here in Port Rowan, the water treatment process starts by pumping water from Lake Erie up into the water treatment facility. Back in the treatment facility, I inspect large clarification tanks where the lake water enters the plant. Here we add coagulant, a chemical that attracts dirt particles together. These form into larger particles called flock, which eventually sinks and is sent to waste. Next, the water enters the filtration system where any remaining dirt particles are trapped by the filters. The water is then chlorinated and sent into a 113 cubic meter underground storage chamber. The water is then taken to the granular activated carbon filters that work like supersized 10,000 pound Brita filters to remove taste and odor. The final step is disinfection, which includes UV and a final dose of chlorine, ensuring safe, potable drinking water. Water testing is an important part of the job. Throughout the day, we take water samples at different stages of the process, up to 9 tests depending on the treatment facility. As a Norfolk resident myself, I am proud to serve the community I live in. Thanks for joining me in this behind-the-scenes tour.
Hey Norfolk County, did you know that Ride Norfolk is now on demand? This means you can schedule Norfolk's public transit service to pick you up for appointments, shopping, school, or work. Ride Norfolk has partnered with Blaze Transit to offer on-demand pickups at all 95 stops across Norfolk, including this one. I booked my trip earlier today and my bus is here right on time. Since there are no fixed local schedules, you can easily book Ride Norfolk over the phone, online, or on the Blaze Transit app from your smartphone. Thanks, Charlie.
You're welcome.
Ride Norfolk's customer service team can help answer any questions you may have, get you started with the app, or book your next ride. By moving to on-demand, Ride Norfolk is helping more residents get where they need to go. To learn more, visit norfolkcounty.ca/transit.
Hi, I'm Marissa, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes for a quick look at what we do at Norfolk County's waste and recycling operations. Here at the transfer station in Simcoe, residents can bring a variety of waste materials for disposal. Norfolk operates 2 transfer stations, welcoming about 27,000 customers every year, and accepts material ranging from bulky items, wood, metal, and yard waste. Norfolk also provides curbside waste programs. Recycling from your home arrives at this facility where it is manually sorted by the type of material. You can see why it's important to separate materials into the correct bin, rinse recyclables, and remove items from bags. This facility processes 4,600 metric tons per year. That's equal to about 20 tons per day. Once items are sorted by material type, they are baled and ready to be shipped across North America to be made into new material. About 8 to 10% of the material that arrives here shouldn't have been put in the recycling bin. Residents can use our Recycle Coach app to confirm if an item can be recycled. After seeing how waste is handled, I hope this video helps show why rinsing and sorting your recyclables are important steps in the recycling process. As a Norfolk County employee, I am proud to serve the community I was raised in. Thanks for joining me on this behind-the-scenes tour.
This summer, discover the hidden gem of Norfolk County, Ontario's Garden.
Stroll through historic villages where time seems to slow down. Feel the sand between your toes on our pristine Lake Erie beaches. From live theater that captivates to trails that wind through breathtaking landscapes, adventure and relaxation await at every turn. Meet the farmers who grow your dinner and taste wine and beer crafted right here. Experience Norfolk County this summer, where small-town charm meets farm-fresh flavor. Ontario's Garden. It's time you came home to it.
Hey Norfolk County, I'm Chris, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes to show you how Norfolk County manages stormwater in our towns and communities. Stormwater isn't just rain or melted snow. It's any excess water that runs off hard surfaces like roads, driveways, and rooftops. But where does that water go? And why is managing it important? Norfolk's stormwater systems include pipes, ditches, catch basins, and ponds that work together to manage this runoff. Stormwater systems like ponds slow the flow and allow dirt and pollutants to settle and release cleaner water into the environment. Without proper management, stormwater can flood basements, damage roads, and carry contaminants like oil, garbage, and salt into our rivers and lakes. That's why Norfolk County created a dedicated stormwater team in 2024 to better understand and maintain what we already have while planning for the future. This stormwater pond in Port Dover helps to reduce flooding and improve water quality. Over time, sediment and pollutants build up within storm ponds, limiting their ability to hold water. This creates an ideal environment for algae and invasive plants like Phragmites to flourish. This fast-growing species can block out the flow of water and crowd out native vegetation, reducing the habitat that local wildlife depends on. To restore this pond, we're removing the excess sediment and transporting it to a licensed site. We're also clearing invasive plants, reshaping the pond's banks, and upgrading the outlet that controls the flow of water. This work will improve water quality, allow the pond to hold more water, reduce flooding risks, and provide a healthier habitat for plants and wildlife. Stormwater management isn't just about what you see on the surface. It's also about the infrastructure underground. We use special tools to locate, map, and inspect the pipes and infrastructure that connect the ponds to the wider stormwater system. This helps us to understand how water moves through our communities and identify issues that need our attention. It's likely that you or someone that you know has been impacted by flooding, erosion, or drainage issues. All of that connects back to stormwater. Stormwater management isn't just about pipes and ponds. It's about protecting the communities and the nature that surrounds us. As Norfolk County grows, so does our responsibility to manage stormwater, and that's our job. With smart planning, hard work, and community support, we're building a cleaner, safer, and more resilient future together.
Welcome to Norfolk County, where land meets lake and opportunity grows deep and wide. Located on the north shore of Lake Erie, in the heart of southwestern Ontario, Norfolk spans 1,600 square kilometers, making us one of Ontario's largest single-tier municipalities. Our roots run deep in agriculture, food production, and advanced manufacturing, industries that shaped our past and are powering Ontario's future economy. Home to over 70,000, we are bold, diverse, and fiercely local. From Port Dover to Long Point, our folks are putting down roots, sometimes in sand, sometimes in soil, but always in a place they're proud to call home. Big land, big vision, unmatched potential. That's Norfolk.
Hey Norfolk County.
Hey Norfolk County.
Hey Norfolk County. Hey Norfolk County.
Hey Norfolk County. Hey Norfolk County.
My name is Bowden Winicki.
My name is Lindsay Kalyakoski.
My name is Alex Ryan. I work as a park student.
I work as an economic development coordinator.
I work on the roads department in Delhi.
I work as a supervisor for waste management.
I work as a committee coordinator in the clerk's department.
Okay, what's the first question? What I love about my job is the people.
All right, what do I love about my job?
It's really the community. No day is the same.
It is because I get to work with a bunch of great guys.
It directly impacts really positively the residents of Norfolk County.
I love the people that I get a chance to work with.
Every day is different. The mix of things is what makes me happy and keeps me going.
first and foremost, the community. The people of this community are so welcoming.
Is the amazing team I get to work with every day here at Norfolk County.
Opportunity to help people, to help my community.
One of the things I love the most about my job is my team. I love who I work with and what I do while I'm here.
I get to work on projects and in programs that support our community, that help make lives better for the people who live here, who work here, and who come here to visit.
Every day you feel like you've accomplished something on the way home, and you're working with a bunch of great people who are equally as committed to the community and serving our communities.
The pace here is very good and great work-life balance.
They put wellness on the forefront, so I'm part of the Apple Committee, and there's lots of opportunity at Norfolk County.
Flexible work hours, great work-life balance, great staff, great friends, and of course, what's not to love about Norfolk County? We're Ontario's garden.
I love helping people, I love helping residents, and that's what makes Norfolk County a great place to come to work.
I chose to work for Norfolk County because I grew up in Delhi, so it's close to home, and I've enjoyed working for my community and my friends and family.
Definitely 100% the people. There are lots of community champions, and everyone's been so kind and welcoming.
Because I was born and raised here, and I wanted to help give back to my community.
I love giving back to a community that I grew up in. I love my team, and I love that I can leave a legacy here in the communities.
When I had the opportunity to come home and serve the public, I jumped at that opportunity.
I started my career as an area planner for this place. It's interesting that at the end of my career, this opportunity came up to come back and make Norfolk a better place.
Is being able to live and work in the community that we're a part of.
I did choose to work for Norfolk because I'm an engineer by trade, and I like to solve problems.
And realized how rewarding it was to be able to contribute to initiatives within the area that I've always called home. I love it here. You should consider joining the public sector, joining the municipality, because it's so diverse. There's something for everyone. Local government is the closest to the people. We get to work with our residents day in and day out, and there is something for you in every department for Norfolk.
Hey, Norfolk County. Do you know how your property taxes are spent? Let's take a look together. First, we need to start with Norfolk County's budget. Every year, staff and council confirm the funds required to be collected from the property taxes paid by you and 35,000 other Norfolk County taxpayers. These funds contribute to Norfolk County's levy and capital budgets, which lay out how your tax dollars are used. The capital budget is also funded by the rate budget, the funds paid by residents known as ratepayers for water and wastewater services through their monthly water bill. The levy budget is used to deliver programs and services for residents ranging from emergency services like fire and EMS, waste services like garbage collection, recreation services like arenas, trails, and parks, maintenance services like snow removal and road repair, and human services like homelessness prevention and health education programs. Our levy budget also supports our libraries and museums, administrative services for council, and the many staff who keep Norfolk County operating. Services like recreation programs for children, adults, and seniors, and our
All right, let's grab our seats and let's get rolling. Al's in a hurry. Yep. So we're going to get rolling, but I got to hand it to Tracy for a moment before we get going because we didn't get it done quite right.
Thank you. Through the chair, this is just to clarify that in the previous report, CS 25-159, regarding the Norfolk General Hospital project update, that recommendation actually asked for council to provide direction to staff regarding the release of the $3 million. So by way of a show of hands of the committee, this is just to confirm that by passing of that recommendation, staff are directed to release that $3 million by show of hands.
Okay.
We did, yeah. Okay, thank you. And we will make note of that in the minutes of the meeting as well.
Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There we go.
So good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of council. The purpose of this report is to seek council approval to renew the contract for insurance services with the county's insurance provider, Aon, for the 2026 insurance program term, which begins on January 1st, 2026. So this would act as the third year of a 5-year procurement with Aon for insurance services. Staff are presented with a 2026 insurance renewal cost from Aon of $2,212,630 plus taxes, which would result in a 1.8% increase to the expiring 2025 insurance premium. Our understanding is that most municipalities are seeing single-digit % increases to expiring insurance premiums for 2026. Most county policies did renew at a flat rate or slight increase or decrease from the 2025 premiums. The 2026 proposal would, of course, see the county continue to maintain a comprehensive insurance program and benefit from the same level of insurance coverage and limits as the expiring program. So thank you, and with that, happy to address any questions.
Any questions for Ryan? Okay, great. Seeing none, do I have a mover for the staff recommendation, which is on the screen? Councillor Columbus, seconder. Councillor Hoffman. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. 8.1.2 Property Tax Assistance Program for Low-Income Property Owners, Policy Update CS-25-166. Rob Fleming, Manager of Revenue Services, would you like to introduce the report?
Good afternoon, everyone. Through the chair, I am here to introduce CS-25-166, which will introduce a revised policy for the tax assistance program for low-income property owners. This policy has been in effect since 2016, and this is the first time that it has been revised since that time. Majority of the changes associated with the policy revision are for administrative purposes, refining some eligibility criteria, the application process, as well as establishing maximum arrears that are eligible for the deferral and limiting the number of tax classes that are eligible as well. There are currently about 6 properties that have outstanding loans in this program, and we are earned by the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. So the 3 earned by the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. So the 329 is the number for 2025. I would anticipate 2026 will be a few thousand higher than that, but it is something that is created by a third party.
Thank you.
Councillor Van Andrieschie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. So, seeing that inflation has taken its place and these homes have increased in value, so that takes some of these families off this particular list? Is that what it does?
Yeah, through the chair, the main purpose of this revision and introducing this clause within the policy is to ensure that we're targeting our loan program to those that require it the most. As council, our committee members are likely aware, the province hasn't completed a reassessment since 2016. Meaning that the assessed values are reflective of a date that is very much in the past. We would anticipate that should a reassessment cycle be introduced, that assessed value will likely increase, but we'll maintain the 75% percentile for the purposes of this policy.
I understand that, and I can appreciate that, and hopefully it does increase. But at the end of the day, the people that were on the program who received assistance or were not were eligible for the program, because of the assessments that changed now to today, does that take people off the program that were on it?
Through the chair, so out of the 6 current loans that are in place, it is likely that one of the property owners will no longer be eligible for the program going forward.
And has there been discussions to, this isn't good for those particular families, so is there something that can be looked at and reviewed to maybe find some sort of assistance in that?
Yeah, through the chair. So really what we're trying to target with this program in place and establishing that threshold is to ensure that those that have high valued assets but low income don't necessarily qualify for the program, and that's intentional. We're looking at ensuring that it's not necessarily just exclusively tied to the person's income annually, but what assets they own as well. Being that houses are one of the bigger assets that people own, we would want to ensure that those that are sitting on large value assets don't necessarily qualify for any assistance for property taxes.
Yes, and I can understand and appreciate that. My point is, are we going to put some families in a situation that they cannot pay the actual property taxes that'll be assessed? And is there any other way of looking at it to assist those, especially if you've had one that's been on the program prior, and then because of inflation, the properties are increasing in value, but yet their particular financial position doesn't change?
Yeah, so just through the chair, just to reiterate a point I made previously, I was speaking to previously, the assessed values of these properties are reflective of 2016 values. So if there has been an appreciation in the housing market since then, that has not been reflected in their assessment value to date. So these are everything that has been, it's reflective of the market in 2016, not as of today, which might have incorporated increases in assessed value since that time.
Okay, since I'm having a little difficulty understanding you, but that's okay. Well, I'll just leave that go then. Thank you.
Councillor Huffman.
Thank you, Chair. I read through this report. I had a tough time understanding it. It really didn't make any sense to me, and I thought maybe today I would just be patient and get the staff report, and it would make more sense to me. I'm still no further ahead. What I would like to make a point of saying is that I read an article the other day that said homeowners should not be losing their homes due to the inability to pay taxes. I don't want to be a community where people, their income hasn't changed, but maybe their asset has changed. Like, what do we want them to do? Sell their house and go where? I'm just not comfortable with any of this. I don't know what that noise is, but it's irritating me. So I'm just not comfortable with any of this. Those are my comments.
Yeah, we think like I might have Darth Vader on the line, maybe, or. So no, I hear what you're saying, Councillor Huffman. I guess I don't have an answer. Is that for Rob, or is that for Ms. Fanning, or who can we throw that to?
Thank you, and through the chair to Councillor Huffman. So the way we've structured this report is to take a look at a policy that we've had in place for a long, long time and to recommend some changes to the policy. And so that's where you'll see the current, the proposed, and then comments kind of all the way through. And so for the specific to the current value assessment, what we've done is looked at the returned roll from MPAC and listing all the properties in value order and taking the 75th percentile and saying that if your home is valued higher than that level, then we're assuming that you have other options to you to help you finance things better than what this program may offer. Because it's not interest-free. Like, there is still significant interest on here. And so there are other loans or other lines of credit or other structures available that might have a lower interest rate and might be better for people who have more options. And so we're trying to target this program to the people who need it the most. If you have a significant high value home, then there are, you're not necessarily the folks who need this loan program the most. But if I'm sensing around the table from council that there are disagreement with that and that that's not making sense. So if this is something staff can take back and look at other options, we can do that as well if that's council's recommendation at this time.
Yeah. Councillor Huffman?
Yeah, because, thank you, Chair. I just want to add, and you're saying there are other options, but I will be very forthright in talking about a lot of residents in our community who may not have a good credit rating, who don't have those other options available. So I don't want to be part of a decision that puts individuals where we think, well, they've got an asset, they could sell their house. But like I said, we have a housing crisis, so there's nowhere else for these people to go. So I do not want to be any part of people with low income losing their house because of difficulty with taxes. And I think I like your idea, send it back and come back with something different.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? One thing I will say too, just sort of, I agree with what Councillor Huffman is saying, and I feel the same way. But when you come back with something, I think from the other point of view is I want to make sure that we don't have a situation where the rest of taxpayers who are also struggling are carrying the weight of these other things. So we need to figure out, because that's kind of where we're headed, right? And so, yeah, I don't know what that answer is, but even if there's if there are other programs. For me, I'm not trying to give you direction, but I'm saying if you could tell us what, say, those other better programs are, so we had a better understanding, not just to say there may be something out there, that would help me focus it more and understand it better, is that, okay, well, these are the specific things they can do. That would be helpful if possible. And Councillor Van Passen, I think, get a hand too.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, like this is an update of a policy. And if I understand it correctly and I can't pay my taxes and they go into arrears, then I pay the county 18-something% interest on my arrears. And now we're providing the option that we can enter into this program if you meet the criteria, and we will loan you the money at still charges interest, but it's the equivalent of the interest that if the county had the money and they put it in the bank account for their short term, we get a little bit of interest. That's the rate we're going to charge. It is an option to get you through the hard bump, and I have no problem agreeing with this policy and implementing it. Now, if there's other issues and you want to develop a new program, because the only other option is to subsidize it some way, and I don't think the two are connected. So I've got no problem with approving this report as it's presented today, and if we want to direct staff to go do a survey of other 443 municipalities across Ontario, see if there are other municipalities that have other programs that we possibly could implement. That can come back as a separate report, but we shouldn't throw this one out while we're looking for some other option to help people through little blip that we've got in this country with the economy right now.
So are you moving the staff recommendation?
Yeah, I'll move the staff recommendation, but, and then when we get done with that, we can also direct staff to bring back a different report and ask for those other things, but I think we should approve this one as it is, so I'll move the staff recommendation here. So.
Okay, so is there a seconder for that one? Mayor, yep.
Question, Mr. Chair. I'm just seeking clarification. If Councillor Huffman wants it to go back to staff and come back amended, but Councillor Van Passen is asking to adopt the policy and then have a report noting changes.
Different options to create another helpful policy, yes.
Just confused on why we would adopt it prior to staff. I'm confused as to why we would adopt it prior to staff bringing back something that would suggest amendments. Why not just suggest the amendments?
Because I doubt you're going to, like, this is a very specific program for low-interest loans to help people through a little troubled time. Do you want to get rid of that and replace it with something else that we don't know what it is, or do you want to maintain this and look if there's other options to have a different program that would help in more serious situations?
So if
I didn't understand we'd be getting rid of it. It would the former policy would apply until something came back. I'm missing something.
No, well, I see Heidi's trying to jump in here, so maybe we'll throw it to Heidi and she'll solve all of our problems.
I'm not sure about that, Mr. Chair, but I think
I believe in you.
I would agree with Mayor Martin's comments that this program is currently in existence and operates under policy FS28, the policy that is attached to your report that would be repealed if the new policy was put into place to govern the program in the amended way. So if council decided to refer this back to staff for another look at it, the existing policy, FS 28, would still be in existence.
Okay, thank you, Heidi. So we do have a motion on the floor. Do we have a seconder? Oh, Councillor Clemens, you're going to second that? Okay, well, we have a mover and seconder. So, into debate, Councillor Van Der
Yeah, thank you. What I was trying to say in the beginning is, if you look at it, it was indicated there were 6 properties involved in this particular program that we have here, and one will fall away to the side. So what's going to happen to that family? That if we stick to these, they don't qualify anymore into the program. I would rather like to know, and I'll be voting against this because I want to see what their options could be, because now there is created a family that will be falling through the cracks here.
Okay, any further comment or debate on that? Okay, if not, I guess I'll call the question then. So we have a motion, which is the staff recommendation, which is on the screen, correct? Yeah, there it is. So I guess, with that, and all those in favor? 1, 2. Opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is defeated. Do we have an alternative then? Sorry, I missed the ones on the screen. Where were you? Councillor Duthie and Councillor Michele, sorry, were you in favor or opposed?
I voted in opposition, Councillor.
I was opposed, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So it was soundly defeated then. Councillor Huffman, yes.
Thank you, Chair, through you. Could it not be that we will continue, I'm not wordsmithing this will be someone else's job, that we continue with the current program and we send it back to staff to come forward with a more detailed options as to what's available to anyway, you know what I'm getting at. What I said originally, but just saying that we leave it as is, the current program, until we hear back from staff and we have a chance to vote on something different.
Does anyone want to alley-oop this motion that Councillor Huffman's trying to put on? Yeah, Councillor Van Der Driesche.
Yeah, I'm fine with that motion. I just don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. It can stay in place, a motion to leave it stay in place,
yes,
until we find new and better options for those who are in need.
Okay, do
So-
you have that, Tracy? Is that a motion, Councilor
Yes, it
Van
is.
Thank you, Councillor Van Enrichi. I just could not get it out.
Okay, oh, yeah, we have, Treasurer has a comment here.
Thank you, and through the chair, if I could offer that we could just remove the cap from the new policy, if that would alleviate council's concerns, we can pass the new policy with the other amendments and just remove the CVA cap portion.
Curiosity, does that answer our questions about how homeowners have other options? If we just remove the cap, then everybody falls into the same pot. Exactly. But at the end of the day, what we're looking for is, are there other options to help people out? Would that not come back? Then it won't come back to us, you see.
So through the chair, what we could do is consider additional other policies in future for a different or amended programs, but still pass this one with the removal of the cap, but then provide direction to staff to review if other options are available. We could do some surveys with other municipalities to take a look at what else is out there. Some point, midway through 2026, we could look to come back with something else if that would be something that council would approve.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Sorry, can somebody make that actually a motion then?
I will.
Okay. Cool. So moved by Councillor Huffman. So we're going to do what the staff recommendation is minus the cap with an amendment, I guess, that we're going to ask for, how do you want us to say it, more information on alternatives or?
Through the chair, yeah, additional alternative investigation to come back in a future staff report.
Okay, and do you want us to put a timeline on that for you or?
I think we can commit to Q2 through the chair, if that's
Q2?
agreeable to council.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, so, well, it doesn't matter what I think, but, okay, so we have a mover, do we have a seconder? Councillor Van Andrieschie. Any debate or discussion on that new motion? Okay, seeing none, I will call the vote.
Yeah, Councillor Berry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Is it possible to get that on the screen? There was a lot of sort of back and forth there, and I just want to make sure I understood it all.
Sure.
Or get it repeated back.
So we've got Tracy's written down on a sheet of paper that you can't see, so she's going to just read it back.
So the direction was that the Governance Policy GP 036 Property Tax Assistance Program for low-income property owners have the cap removed and be approved, and that staff be directed to come back in Q2 with more information on other options that residents have for assistance.
Okay, may I just ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Mr. Chair. Just the previous motion there was also about repealing the former policy, FS 28. So does that need to then be there if we're moving forward with the new one?
Through the chair, yeah, we will include that former policy be repealed.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Councillor Van Andrieschie.
My apologies, Mr. Chair. Just for clarification for myself, when you say remove the cap, does that inspire any concerns to me at all? Does this widen the pot? If there's no cap, who makes the decision who falls in?
Is that a question of the treasurer?
Yes, it is. I'm looking at
Okay.
Amy, yeah.
Through the chair to Councillor Van Andrieschie. So we would follow the process outlined in the policy, and I would have to take a closer look at it now that you asked me that. But I don't think anything would change. I think we would follow the process outlined in the policy, and it would just be that we would still have the maximum of 75% weighted value assessment couldn't be loaned out. So there would still be that amount there, and you still have to be current on any loan program that you do enter. So there would still be other stipulations that would make sure that, that those who do enter the program are still meeting those parameters.
The CAO is going to chip in here.
No, through you, Mr. Chair, I think our treasurer answered the question.
Okay, Councillor Brunton.
I hope I'm not off base on this, but I remember my days on social services where if you applied for social assistance, you could ask all kinds of things about income and bank accounts and that, my understanding was. Can you do that now with, if somebody applies for tax assistance? Can you do that or no?
Who's that question to, Councillor?
Amy, I guess.
Okay.
Through the chair, I'm gonna see if Rob Fleming can help me out and answer that, what we do request and don't on these loan applications.
Yeah, for the purposes of the loan application, to confirm the person's eligibility, it's tied to the low income cutoff, which is a StatsCan number that's produced annually. In order to verify this, we do request their most recent notice of assessment from the CRA from each applicant involved.
Good?
I guess. I'm not sure if that covers everything, but did it not, under social assistance, do you not look into bank accounts also? Or does that clarify it based on interest that an applicant will receive, say, on a bank account? Is that how you determine that? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Through the chair, I think for social assistance, if I might just offer that, we'll turn that over to Ms. Van Dyke to maybe make a comment.
So thank you, Mr. Chair, through you to council. The requirements for social assistance are prescribed by the province. And so when staff are assessing eligibility, they do look at both income and assets. That is a requirement of the province. The program that finance staff are putting forth for update that is before you tonight is not a mandatory program. It is a discretionary program that Norfolk County has previously chosen to offer residents whose income meets the low income cutoff as determined by Statistics Canada and whose property has a capped value. Council is now talking about removing the cap, which is at council's discretion, because again, unlike Ontario Works, this is not a prescribed program. So council can determine the eligibility. To verify income, what Mr. Fleming has indicated would be an appropriate way to verify income using the tax assessment, income tax assessment.
And do you feel that would, like as Councillor Van Der Rishi indicated, that people will not fall through the cracks, or they will?
So, Mr. Chair, through you to Councillor Brenton, if it is the will of council not to consider assets in terms of determining alternate ways that people might pay, if council wishes that this be only an income-based eligibility program, then the CRA notice of assessment is the appropriate way to determine that. If council wishes to consider asset limits, such as the value of your home or the value of a bank account or other savings, then I would suggest that staff would go back and look at other ways to evaluate someone's overall, quote, ability to pay based on both income and assets. But what we're talking about at this point is an income-based program, and based on that, the CRA notice of income tax assessment would be appropriate.
Well, personally, I don't think, I think you want to cover all your bases, and to me, that looks at all your assets. I mean, if people are asking for some kind of assistance, I guess, on their tax bill, the more we know, the easier it is to determine whether they should get assistance. I'm sorry, that's how I feel about it. Thank you.
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree. I think just eliminating the cap and moving forward is premature at this point in time, because we're debating two different things. Some of us are debating the income level and others are debating the value of an asset. And to Councillor Huffman's point, the value of an asset does not reflect your income level, and the opposite can also apply. You could also have a very expensive, or you could have suitable income on an asset that is of lesser value and be deferred on your payments or behind on your payments for whatever reason, and then you also would be eligible for the programming. So hearing that council would like other options, I'm wondering if the referral back to staff could trump the motion on the floor. We do not make changes to the policy at this time, and we let it come back with a full process that staff will analyze, taking into consideration folks' income levels as well as asset level values, and council can make a better decision with more information at that time. And if so, I'm happy to move that.
Well, I think that, yeah, it would take priority, right? So I guess, so, right, we don't have to resolve the motion on the floor, is that correct?
We have a motion on the floor, yeah.
Does that, the referral not over?
We have to deal with the motion.
Okay, so we have to deal with the motion on the floor as it is right now, which is?
I can put it up.
Tracy can put it up.
I typed it in.
Nope, we already have one on the floor. It's been moved and seconded. So I'm going to call the question on that because we've kicked it around. We'll see what happens here. If it doesn't pass, then I'll get a new motion. Or, yes, we can have it withdrawn. So who was the mover and seconder? Was that
I was moved by Councillor
Huffman and?
seconded by Councillor Van Andruschi.
Okay, so withdraw?
Sorry, I will withdraw.
Withdraw? Then it is withdrawn. Mayor Martin, please put your motion on the floor then formally,
Okay,
please.
thank you, Mr. Chair. My motion would be that we do not make any changes to the existing policy and refer the report back to staff for options, including additional options available to members of the public and considerations on both value of the asset and level of income.
Okay, Councilor Brunton seconds. Love it. Go ahead. Mike though, bud. Mike, yep.
Is there, Amy, if I may ask you, do you see any reason to prohibit us from asking for that information? Is there any legislation that says we can't?
Through the chair to council, from a legislative perspective, off the top of my head, I'm not aware of any, but it is something that we'd want to consider. From a staff perspective, the reason we didn't include it in the policy when we initially brought it forward is that we were worried that it would discourage applications. The more people have to provide, the more it might be discouraging for those folks looking for assistance. So we're trying to keep it simple, and then we're also worried about, from an administratively burdensome perspective, the more documents that have to pass back and forth, and the more we need to handle, the more time consuming it is. So those were the the considerations that we gave. But from a legislative perspective, I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm not aware of any.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? All those opposed? I've lost, sorry, Duthie's there.
Sorry, it's because I'm sharing the screen. 1 second.
Okay. Sorry, Councillor Duthie, can you, all those in favor?
Sorry, so the vote is on referring, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then I am voting in support of that.
Okay, and opposed? Councillor Van Passen, we've lost Councillor Michele, I guess. Okay, very good, carried. Moving on. Thank you very much for all that, Rob and Amy, that was good. Going right to 8.3, Public Works. We're missing Jack Reddy. Unfortunately, he's not well, but we do have the pleasure of having Darnell here instead to give us the 8.3.1 traffic control review. Nelson Street West at Maple Boulevard, PW-25-027. Darnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. With the utmost respect for your time, I could certainly introduce the report and have some speaking notes to it, or I can move right to Q&A, understanding that probably everybody has already read it, and I think it is very self-explanatory.
Can you just give us a quick Coles note so it's on the record so people at home can hear?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Happy to do that. We're under today's report, PW 25027. We're looking to secure your approval for the removal of the stop sign at Nelson Street West and Maple Boulevard in Port Dover. Furthermore, we ask for your approval to proceed with the installation of a level 2 type B pedestrian crossover at this same location to improve the pedestrian crossing environment. As set out in the report, an all-way stop was installed here in 2021 following receipt of a petition for it. The underlying intention appears to have been to quell traffic speeds on Nelson Street, as opposed to addressing real traffic control needs at the intersection. Since the installation, a number of concerns have been raised about its effectiveness and overall need for a stop condition. At the July meeting of this council, staff were directed to review the intersection and bring forward a report on findings and recommended changes. Our review finds that the intersection does not meet the warrant for an all-way stop control, as was the condition in 2021. Furthermore, but of great concern, we noted extremely low levels of compliance for stopping. For the 12-hour study period, only 4% of vehicles conducted a legal stop, and 24% actually made no attempt to stop at all. Based on these findings, we assessed 3 options: maintain the existing condition, remove the stop control, or alter the controls at this intersection. The staff recommendation before you is to alter the control by removing the stop sign and installing a level 2 Type B PXO to improve the pedestrian crossing environment in light of the stop sign removal. To advance this option, staff will need to post advisory signs on the roadway noting a date for the proposed stop removal, and staff will also need to coordinate the installation of the PXO and required pavement marking changes. This work is weather dependent and would therefore move ahead in March or April of 2026 if approved. Should council approve the staff request, we will advance the necessary steps towards implementation and report back to council in early 2026 to secure the necessary amendment to the traffic control bylaw. The recommendation also directs staff to review policy PW 14 pertaining to all-way stop installations, and if so directed, we would report back to you by the end of March 2026 with our findings and recommendations on this policy. Certainly available to take any questions if you have any on this report.
Thank you so much, Darnell. Any questions from council? Oh, Councilor Michelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this has been a question for, I think council since that stop was installed. I frankly, I travel to Port Dover, periodically. I don't think I have ever, by the way, I always stop at that stop sign. I don't think I've ever seen another vehicle coming to that intersection on Maple Boulevard. So I think this is a good move by staff. I guess my question is with regard to the automated speed limit sign, will that remain?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to the councillor, yes, that will remain in place along with the center flex bollard that gets put up in the spring and taken down every fall.
Okay, thank you, Darnell. And now I do believe that speed limit sign will make sense. I have commented previously that there's a speed limit sign, less than 100 meters from a stop sign. It never made that much sense to me, but now I think it will actually be effective and be logical. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor Michelle. And also thank you for being one of the few that actually adheres, the 4% that abides the laws of Port Dover. We appreciate that, sir. Councilor Van Patten.
I appreciate you saying that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yeah. Councilor Van, did you have your hand up, Councilor Van Patten?
Yes, I did,
go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman. The Cole's notes I didn't quite get on the timing of all of this, and maybe Mr. Lambert could explain it to me. We want to remove the stop signs that are on Nelson Street, but we can't replace it with a pedestrian crossover signage until the springtime. Wouldn't it just be simpler to leave the stop sign there until such time as we install the pedestrian crossing and then take down the stop signs and do it all in the spring rather than doing it in those different stages?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that is the actual intent.
Okay.
I think there's an advisory notice that needs to go up. I think it's about 30 days notice saying the stop sign is to be removed. We will time all that so that work takes place at the exact same time. Stop sign down, PXO up in play.
All right, thank you. I just wasn't grasping the concept, obviously.
No, you got it. That's good. Okay. Any other questions? Yep, Councillor Columbus.
Just want to move the recommendation.
Thank you, sir. Seconded by somebody, hopefully, Councillor Hoffman. Any further debate on the motion before we call the vote? And I can't with the we. All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you so much, everybody. .4 Community and Development Services Marina Dredging Update. Port Rowan and Port Dover CDS-25-111. Brian Geertz. Where are you? Oh, did he leave? Oh, there he is, right in front of me. Director of Parks, Recreation and Culture, would you like to introduce the report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll provide a brief update. It hasn't been that long since I've been here on this topic, but this report to Council follows up on a report from the September Council cycle where initial costs and kind of a forecasting of the needs for dredging for Port Rowan and Port Dover marinas was discussed. We didn't have enough information at the time, but we did have a sense that the scale of the costs and the work was much more than we initially anticipated. And this report provides some additional detail on that. Overall, we've worked closely with Riggs Engineering to provide and investigate some of the costs, but we did also kind of limit how much investigation we did because all the avenues, or most of the avenues we were exploring were quite far out of budget, so we didn't want to spend additional monies on things that wouldn't be pursued. So we have provided some narrowed scope to the recommendations before Council today to provide some small increases to the capital projects for both sites. So both sites have existing capital approved in the 2025 capital budget. We'd like to draw an extra $20,000 for each project from the Marinas Reserve, because through our investigations we found that there may be some additional sampling or monitoring to comply with the required permits. And but with that, we would schedule and design an RFP that would scope the work down enough, but maximize the value we're getting for the dollar for both sites.
Great, thanks. Any questions for Mr. Geertz from Council? Yeah, Councilor Broughton.
Just a comment, and since we had our previous on this, I did some. Is there any reason we can't, we go through and do the dredging, and we come up with a certain depth, and I did read a report recently, Rock University, I think, all about lake levels and Lake Erie, etc. So it does fluctuate, but I guess my question is, if somebody came in after we've dug the channel out and we can say, okay, our depth is 6 feet. If you have a sailboat that has a keel that draws 8 feet, we suggest you go to another marina. Can we not just say that? Like, let the people know what we have. Is that out of line to ask or to provide that information, I guess?
Through you, Mr. Chair. We do communicate that through our kind of a sales aspect as far as the services that we provide. We don't endeavor to provide every service that any customer would provide or would wish for, but we just clearly communicate what we do have to offer and what they can expect. So it's certainly up to the sailors to not overcommit or hope that they can get a larger vessel through the marinas that it can practically fit.
So you do tell them the depth where you're, as it is now, I guess, and what you were looking forward to down the line. Okay,
correct.
Thank you.
Good. Any further questions? Okay. Well, we have a staff recommendation. Councilor Michelle, sorry, I didn't see you there. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question to staff as to the question of the boat houses in the Port Rowan Marina. Could you just maybe, for perhaps the public, elaborate a little bit on how that would be handled or what options might exist?
Through the chair, we are aware that some of the boathouses are shallow as well. They're not all in the same condition. But the way the municipality handles that part of the marina service is through an annual license agreement. So it's up to in the same way that boaters form they choose to have their boat at the marina based on the conditions that they are. The boathouse licensees also kind of keep renewing if they're satisfied enough with the services. So the scope of the work that we're talking about is to dredge what we can from the center line of the channel. So the entrance to Port Dover, and then at Port Rowan, hopefully we can achieve a kind of a trench down the middle of each access way. It wouldn't even be the full width of the access way. So even on the municipal portion of the maintenance side, we're not doing as much as we might hope because it's likely not affordable. But the interior, the boathouses are a water lot license. So the people signing their license agreement get access and the right to use the land under the water, essentially. And whatever state that is in and the structure that it's on that land is completely up to the individual.
Okay, Mr. Chair, just one more. So, Brian, if I can just ask, so hypothetically, if boathouse owner B were to dredge their own boathouse area, would that not mean that the silt from boathouse A and boathouse C could then slide down into boathouse B's dredge spot?
Through the chair, there are some practical concerns that with the boathouses being so close together, as to my knowledge from speaking with local people there, that the owners or the license holders near each other often talk about shared maintenance and coordinate those things. But yes, no one really controls the currents or where the silt goes, so it does move with the wind and weather.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, so we do have a staff recommendation that's on the screen. Could I have a mover or an alternative, I suppose? Moved by Councillor Brunton, seconded by Councillor Van Andrieschie. Any debate before we call the question? Seeing none, then I will call it. All those in favor? Very good. Any opposed? Very good. Thanks very much. Good job, Brian. Oh, I'm going to have to pass it to Councillor Huffman again. Pass the chair over because I do have a notice of motion.
Thank you, Chair. Item number 10 on the agenda, notice of motion. There is one notice of motion from Councillor Very, and it is unique for those of you who read. It's a unique layout for a notice of motion, and I like it. So anyways, I will have Councillor Very go ahead with his notice of motion.
Okay, well, thanks. That kind of threw me. I don't know what's unique, but okay, good. So,
A lot of whereases.
I don't know how that.
Why.
I don't really know what that word means. So, no. Anyway, so what I've done here is essentially there's a little bit of a preamble in the email I sent to Bill, but essentially what it comes down to is here are some things that I would like some more information on as we go into budget. I've asked staff for some I haven't asked for, and some we've asked for before and haven't come yet. And, some of the answers is, it takes a lot of work to do that. So staff needs specific direction. So some of those are in here. Some, like I said, I've asked for a couple times before and they haven't come yet. And some I've asked staff for, and they said, it's fine. It doesn't take a lot of work, but it would be more comfortable if we had council direction to do this. And so fair enough. So these are the things that me, just as a guy, one person, I would like to know in time for the budget discussions. And certainly if there are any others that other councillors would like to know, we can add them to this list. But here it's just, I need this information to make good decisions. So that's essentially my notice of motion, is that I would like to have this information, and I'm not going to go through all of them because there's 8 of them. And if anybody else wants to add 1 or 2 or 8 more next week when we do this, then that'd be great for me.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. And I just want to add, can I add something? I'm not going to add to the list right now. I just wanted to say that I do recall from our first term, for those that were here in the last term, that we did have something along the lines on our agendas that were action items, so that things didn't get lost in the shuffle and they were ongoing. So it was I'm going to say parks or stop sign on Maple. And there would be Q2, and then it would always be on the agenda so that you knew when things were coming back and if they weren't falling into the timeline. So I'm just wondering if maybe between now and next week, when you do your official notice of motion, that staff could be prepared with maybe some of that information. So, and with that, I will pass the chair back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Huffman. Okay, so now we're on to other business, which looks like there isn't any on the list, but is there any out in the world? Okay, seeing none. Any announcements? Councillor Huffman.
I just wanted to, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to let everybody know that this is the Saturday of the Waterford Lions Santa Claus Parade, obviously in Waterford. It starts at the south end of St. James Street and follows down to Shadow Lake. I would also encourage everyone to bring an unwrapped new toy. They're not taking them along the parade route, but this year they're asking you to come down. They have a lovely booth there where I believe you can get hot chocolate, and there's a fire going and a tree is decorated, and you can drop off your new unwrapped toy to help out the kids in our community. So hope to see a great turnout at the Santa Claus Parade Saturday at 6 p.m.
Very good. Councillor Vandertreeschi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to remind everybody, also in Langton, we have the Langton Parade, the Christmas Parade, and it starts at 11. So all those who are available on Saturday, I think Waterford's is in the evening, I think. So that's just perfect.
Very good. Any other announcements? Okay, I have one real quick one. So in Port Dover, my neighbor Holly has put together a light up the port thing, try to get people to decorate businesses and houses, and it's been really well received, and there's been lots of good donations of prizes and things like this. But you'll see in the Maple Leaf that we all just received that there's a map of all the houses. So if anybody wants to hop online and see where all the houses are and where all the businesses are that participated, we'd love to have you down just for a drive around in Port Dover. And with that, we will go to our late closed session. So can I get a mover for the following motion, that committee enter closed session at 4:27 p.m. to discuss an item pursuant to section 239 2A, B, and E of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended as the subject matter pertains: A, the security of the property of the municipality of local board or local board, D, labor relations or employee negotiations, and E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, moved by Councillor Huffman, seconded by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? Okay, here we go.
Hey, Norfolk County. Do you know how your property taxes are spent? Let's take a look together. First, we need to start with Norfolk County's budget. Every year, staff and council confirm the funds required to be collected from the property taxes paid by you and 35,000 other Norfolk County taxpayers. These funds contribute to Norfolk County's levy and capital budgets, which lay out how your tax dollars are used. The capital budget is also funded by the rate budget, the funds paid by residents known as ratepayers for water and wastewater services through their monthly water bill. The levy budget is used to deliver programs and services for residents ranging from emergency services like fire and EMS, waste services like garbage collection, recreation services like arenas, trails, and parks, maintenance services like snow removal and road repair, and human services like homelessness prevention and health education programs. Our levy budget also supports our libraries and museums, administrative services for council, and the many staff who keep Norfolk County operating. Services like recreation programs for children, adults, and seniors, and our Ride Norfolk transit program are also paid for with property taxes and supplemented by user fees. And across Ontario, a portion of each resident's property tax bill goes to our local school boards. About a third of the property taxes collected are allocated to the capital budget or reserves for future capital spending, which includes other funding sources like the federal and provincial government, reserve funds, grants, debt, and development charges, as well as funds from the rate budget. Together, the capital budget goes toward longer-term projects, such as our investments in water and wastewater facilities, as well as building and renewing our parks, roadways, pools, arenas, and other things we use every day. So the next time you hear someone ask, "Where are my property taxes going?" you can tell them to look down, look up, and look forward. Your tax dollars are at work all around you every day. When you visit your local park with your family, drive to work on cleared roads, register for swimming lessons, get rid of that old couch you've outgrown, or contact Service Norfolk about that pothole on your street that needs to be fixed. Your tax dollars are also being invested in initiatives to improve the lives of Norfolk County residents in the years to come to make Norfolk County a better place for future generations. While Norfolk County's budget is prepared once a year, your feedback helps us make decisions and plan for the future. We are committed to listening to you so that our budget reflects what is important to our community. Learn more about Norfolk County's budget at norfolkcounty.ca/budget.
Today we're announcing an exciting partnership with Scotland and Norfolk County Economic Development, and we're transforming transport trailers into mobile ambassadors. We're showcasing Norfolk's story of opportunity, excellence, and quality of life across all of North America, and Scotland is the ideal partner with an amazing logistics network and will help us share our story all across North America.
Hi, I'm Jacob, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes on a capital project in Norfolk County. We begin planning capital projects by analyzing our infrastructure needs related to roads, water mains, storm and sanitary sewers, as well as bridges. We assess their overall condition, age, and servicing requirements. This provides a solid foundation to ensure Norfolk has the hard infrastructure for current and future needs. Once a project is determined and approved by Council, we retain an engineer to complete the design. During this stage, we engage the public through public information centers or postings on the county website to inform them of the upcoming project and provide an opportunity to share feedback. After the design is completed and all approvals are in place, we hire a contractor through a public bidding process. During the construction phase, we track progress, budget, and continue to engage with the public. We also work with other departments to ensure the overall success of the project. Once complete, we report and track any warranty issues for 2 years. We measure a project's success by its ability to enhance infrastructure and positively impact residents. As a Norfolk County employee, I enjoy building the community that has given me so much. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this behind-the-scenes tour.
Deputations are a way for you and all residents of Norfolk County to speak before Council about relevant matters in our community. To begin, search www.norfolkcounty.ca. Then select the Government tab. Under the Government tab, select Provide Deputation/Speak at a Council or Committee Meeting. This page provides general information regarding deputations. Under the subheading Register to Speak, click the Public Hearing/Deputation Form link to pre-register your deputation. Notice of Collection. By checking the Notice of Collection box, you are agreeing to the above statement. Selecting the type of meeting you want. There are several types of meetings that allow deputations. Please listen closely as we explain each option. Council meeting. Council deputations must pertain to a matter listed on the upcoming meeting agenda. For the remaining meeting choices, you may present a deputation if the topic pertains to the committee you are presenting to. Once you select the type of meeting you want to deliver your deputation, you can complete the rest of the document. Now choose whether you will attend the meeting in person or virtually. Finally, select if you will be providing materials during your deputation. If you have materials for distribution during the council meeting, please bring 15 hard copies for council and staff. Now click Next to move to Step 2. In Step 2, please fill out your personal information. Once your personal information is completed, click Next. Lastly, review your information and select Next to submit your form. You have now completed the deputation request form. You will receive a confirmation email from the Clerk's Department that they've received your request. Next, we will talk about what to do on the day of your deputation.
So, you've received your approval and the day of your deputation is upon you. For starters, Council is located here, at 50 Colburn Street. Now there's 2 entrances you can use when you arrive. One is here, located off Colburn, and one located off Talbot Street. When you arrive, you'll have 3 main options to park. The first is to park at the Simcoe Town Center Mall, which is where Food Basics is located. Your second option is 2-hour street parking on Court Street. And your third option is 2-hour street parking on Lott Street. If you can't find any parking in any of those 3 options, don't worry. Downtown Simcoe has plenty of street parking in all of the surrounding areas. If you enter through the Colburn Street doors, you'll have to make your way through the building to get to Council Chambers. But don't worry, if you require any assistance, you can feel free to ask Service Norfolk at the front desk. Make your way along this path and you'll end up in the main lobby. To your left, there'll be an elevator. You can either ring the bell or go ask the people at the front desk for assistance. If you don't need to use the elevator, you can head on up the green staircase and go up to Council Chambers. If you enter through the Talbot Street doors, the elevator will be immediately in front of you, or the green staircase will be ready for you to go up and deliver your presentation. Once you reach the top of the stairs, you'll have made it to Council Chambers. Feel free to take a seat here or here and wait for Council to call your name when it's time to present. When Council calls your name, make your way to the podium and ensure that you don't walk between the railing and the chairs on your way there. When you arrive at the podium, adjust it to your desired height using the arrow buttons and turn the microphone on using the button on the right. If you're giving your deputation in front of council, begin by saying, through the mayor. If you're giving it in front of a committee, begin by saying, through the chair. Then, clearly state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes to give your presentation. Upon having 1 minute remaining, the chair will give you notice. When you're finished your presentation, council may have questions for you. Ensure that you always begin your answer by saying through the mayor or through the chair to councillor and their last name. If you can't answer the question, that's okay. Inform council that you'll gather more information and get back to them. After that, council will have heard out what you've had to say and they'll take appropriate action as they deem necessary. And now you've finished your deputation. You can either have a seat and watch the rest of the meeting, or you can leave through the door that you came in and ensure that you leave as quietly as possible.
Hey Norfolk County, my name is Anna and I'm here to share some water safety tips to keep you and your family safe around the water. Knowing how to swim is a life skill and an essential part of staying safe and having fun. Swimming lessons are the best way to learn essential swim survival skills to recover from a fall into deep water. Think you're too old for lessons? There are programs designed for teens and adults as well. With so many lakes and rivers, Canadians of all ages are avid boaters. Always wear a life jacket, it could save your life. Never swim alone, regardless of age and skill level. Always swim with a buddy. A buddy can throw you a buoyant aid if you get into trouble. When possible, wade into unknown waters to prevent injury. Backyard pools are a great place to make family memories. But remember, if you are not within arm's reach of your child in and around the water, then you've gone too far. Drowning can occur in as little as 10 seconds and it is silent. Every drowning death is preventable. Take time to educate yourself and those around you to ensure you're staying safe and having fun around the water. For more information, visit norfolkcounty.ca/watersafety.
We all have the right to feel safe at work, when spending time with friends and family, when participating in activities or attending a public meeting or event. Norfolk County is committed to ensuring our spaces and workplaces are safe. Our Respect and Responsibility policy outlines the code of conduct for employees, patrons, contractors, volunteers, coaches, and spectators. This code of conduct also applies to phone calls, emails, and virtual and social media platforms. We all play a part in fostering a respectful and safe environment. Inappropriate behaviors such as swearing, name-calling, verbal and physical threats, physical violence, harassment, and vandalism will not be tolerated. Staff have the right to take action when incidents occur. This may include denying service, asking individuals to leave, contacting the police, or, if necessary, suspending them from county programs and facilities. Those responsible for damaging county property will be required to cover the cost of repairs, fees, and lost revenues. We are committed to providing high-quality customer service and a safe and respectful environment for all. For more information about our Respect and Responsibility policy, visit norfolkcounty.ca/RNR.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm excited to take you behind the scenes to meet Norfolk County's aquatics team in action.
I think the people are what make the job. I think working with the people that I do, we're a great team. We work really well together. That makes a positive work environment. That makes a positive work for the public as well. They see that we work well together, and I think that benefits them as well.
I still love coming here every day. It's an exciting job. It's always different. You're always doing new things.
Being part of our team offers staff the opportunity to develop essential skills in lifeguarding, teaching swimming lessons, customer service, first aid, and of course, teamwork.
I think swimming in general is a really great skill to have from a very young age, so being a part of children learning how to swim is super important to me.
It's a really rewarding process to see them go from not the greatest swimmer to a better or great swimmer.
It's a really good stepping stone to what I want to do in the future.
It's just a nice variety, and everybody brings something different and special to the team.
Our aquatics team is dedicated to educating the community on water safety and drowning prevention.
You might be a quiet student coming in, and this job is really going to push you to find your voice and be like an impactful member of a team.
I love that it's different every day, and you get to meet new people every day and see some of the same faces every day as well. But my job is different every single day. I don't
Okay, we're going to reconvene from closed. Got a motion, I guess, to reconvene. Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Van Andrieschie. All those in favor? Carried. I suppose I need an update. No, we don't need an update.
We can just receive it for information.
Okay, so we're going to receive the closed session report, or update, I guess, as information. All those in favor? Sorry, can I have a mover? Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Van Andrieschie. All those in favor? It's information. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Councillor Hoffman, Councillor Van Andrieschie. All those in favor? Let's go home.
Can everybody please wear a Christmas tie, a Christmas shirt, or a Christmas sweater for our council meeting next Tuesday, December 16th? Thank you.